but on his way he's just stopping off to catch a bit of music.
So yes, so Orange River Remedy, yes, not a medical team. They are a three-piece band from Stratford on Avon in Warwickshire, who perform 60s, 70s inspired tracks. So we'll be able to tell you a little bit more about the stage at 1:15.
Could potentially be named, therefore, after an incident on the River Avon
when it turned orange
and started healing people.
Yes, that famous moment on the River Avon.
We might try and catch them backstage to hear about their origin story if they don't divulge it from the stage. Often they do, don't they, these folk acts? They often tell you a little origin story, more often about the numbers than the band themselves.
Yes, that was a big feature yesterday, actually, when we were doing some of our pre-broadcast research. A lot of bands talking about how many of the songs that they were performing have been written during lockdown, sometimes across continents as well.
A couple there have a long life co-op bag. Those of you who are keeping tot of these things at home, we've got 2 Morrisons, 1 Asda and 1 co-op so far.
And really giving it some now. So apologies at home if you had to adjust your volume there. Little girl comes skipping and running around the field beneath us.
She's got red tights and pink shorts, which is a strong look.
I think this might be Florence's luck, possibly. It's certainly high energy. She gets a big whoop and applause from the crowd. She's really won the crowd round. She's worked really hard to get the crowd there, because it's quite a small. I know it wasn't the last song. There's one more to go, and a big R goes up from the crowd, who's getting bigger every moment. Heated discussion going on beneath us between some of the festival team.
There's a man in straw.
Here we go. So, this next song is a one written during lockdown. Sorry, James.
No, I was just going to say that in stark contrast to the nearly boater hat, there's a gentleman there in a straw hat that's like a cowboy hat with very, very curled brim and a very indented crown. So very much the opposite of a boater.
Is that a bush hat?
Could be.
Australian.
Or like a ranger in a movie, like a western, Cowboys and Indians. He's like the good sheriff. There's a kind of leather. That's more like an out man with the purple waterproof and the blue rucksack.
Yes, just walking past. Yes, possibly made out of crocodile or something that he's caught, and rather than waste the skin, has turned it into a hat.
Now, I did some research on this at the Walsall Leather Museum recently, Craig.
Yes.
And obviously we can't condone the killing and skinning of alligators or crocodiles to make hats, but apparently you can use leather from a cow, and then you run a roller over it, which makes indentations which look like crocodile skin.
And that's better than actually using crocodile skin, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly if you're a crocodile.
Yes, and hard to get crocodiles in Walsall as well.
Well, you're not allowed to import the skins, I don't think. Or maybe it's snakes.
There is Dudley's. Dudley's Zoo is quite close to Walsall Leather Museum. So I don't know whether they have large reptiles there. Is it a reptile? Is it an amphibian?
It's possible to be can you be an amphibian and a reptile at the same time? Surely you can be both.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm
for all the listeners.
I'm moderately amphibious myself.
Not reptilian though.
It's rarely
unless the eczema is playing up, of course. The man with the non-bush hat sat down next to a man with the yellow hat, as some listeners will, with children, might be aware of the man with the yellow hat in the Curious George books. And it's not the same kind of that. This is a beanie hat that he's wearing. He's got yellow trousers as well. I don't know any stories about the man with the yellow trousers.
Actually, the man with the white hat here, his hat looks more like the yellow hat in
the man in Curious George. Yes, it does.
If that were yellow, that would work. Man in a red beret.
Yes, feel confident calling that a beret, I think.
And a woman with a Star Wars long life carrier bag there. Oh, and there's a little one arrived while we weren't watching. That's got a variety of delicious looking berries pictured on it.
Berries, not berets.
No.
Previous years, I know that we have been able to find a chart that with little pictograms of facial hair, so that we've been able to give quite accurate descriptions of the different beards on display. So I think we may got our research team working on a similar chart for hats, so that we're able to give you a more informed description of the hats here today.
Could consider publishing a compendium of these guides, so people could start their own commentary.
Yes, that's true.
Publish that.
As long as you know, we don't want to put ourselves out of work, of course.
There's a lot of the world to commentate upon, Craig, though.
That's true. We're not precious either. A coat rack has just arrived at, I think that end stall is the Mosley Park stall, and they've just got a little coat rack arriving there. We can see some people listening in on one of the listening posts that we've got this year around the site. A new innovation, always trying to innovate. And they've now met another members of their party, so they've stopped listening, and they're shaking hands with some friends I think they've agreed to meet. I don't know whether they agreed to meet, they can't have agreed to meet by the listening post, because they wouldn't have known that the listening post was going to be there. The JCB driver, earlier on we saw unloading pallets of beer kegs from the back of a lorry, and also delivering the temporary road surface. He's now, I think he's done for the day. I don't know what he's going to do with himself for the rest of the day, because you can't really bring the JCB back on site now, it's too busy, so he'll be done for the day.
Yeah, unless he's called in again maybe late at night. I'm not sure they do much overnight. I think they probably just leave the site and then come in really early in the morning, sort things out.
Yes, as I say, when we arrived early this morning, it was a right site, the site actually, but the litter picking team worked tirelessly, and now, as we said, it is looking spotless. Apart from on the ground just beneath us, there is a little tube of filters for roll-up cigarettes. I think you would normally probably get half a dozen in there. There's probably only 2 left in there. It's been missed by the litter picker team. Easy to miss that though, nestled in the grass there. And Florence Somerville ends her session to applause echoing around the ground here. Uncle Jimmy would be very, very proud indeed.
Yep, she gets a thumbs up from her sound engineer, and in turn gives him a thumbs up. She unplugs. She gives a nice wave to the red tight pink shorts girl, who then runs like mad up the field to parent to announce the fact that she's been waved to by someone from the main stage.
Is that a fedora?
Yes.
Fedora.
Yeah, I think you've nailed that.
That's fedora. It's got a little bit of damage to the front of it there. It might have been nibbled by a mouse or something. The St John's ambulance walked past. No first aid needed on the Florence Somerville crowd.
It's almost seamless between the 2 stages. He
applause as his name. There's a little hush now over the field as we wait for the first notes to come from whatever instrument Louis plays. We can't see.
Yes,
I can hear a bass drum there.
Yes, he's from the West Midlands, but is currently based in Liverpool. So this crowd could be pulled from both regions.
That was a guitar. There's a drum.
We heard bass earlier on in the sound check.
There's a voice. Not quite sure what the other instrumentation there is. I don't think that's a violin. Could be. Oh, we're off. He's off now. Quiet. Oh, there's a hat, a leather hat with grouse or pheasant feathers sticking out of it. If he was wearing lederhosen, you'd say he was from Austria or southern Germany. They're almost lederhosen, but they're sort of camouflaged shorts instead.
Yeah, sort of survivalist lederhosen there.
Canvas hosen rather than leder. I think leder means leather, possibly. Man comes skipping down the temporary roadway. Needs to be a little bit careful because it's still slightly uneven there.
The woman in the dress filming the act with her carnival dancer depicting dress is singing along to Louis Miles, so obviously dedicated hardcore Louis Miles fan.
Yes, the Somerville family now walking up the hill past the catering field. The sound engineer out front with an iPad mixing from the in front of the stage, which does seem to be the way to do things these days. Makes sense. Someone tucking into a huge sandwich from Subway. Other sandwich outlets are available, of course. And I think we're seeing a hug between a member of Orange River Remedy and one of their fans, and then a hug between a member of Orange River Remedy and Catherine Priddy. He's wearing a very nice gold shirt with a leaf effect on it, and he's got shorts and flip-flops, or thongs, I think they're called, aren't they? Those kind of that footwear.
Yes, it is officially known as a look.
Yes, long hair and a beard. If he's wearing a tricorn hat, you'd say he was a pirate.
Yes, without the thongs, can't get away with thongs if you're a pirate. But yes, beyond that, absolutely, definitely. He's chatting to one of his fans, the third person in the Orange River Remedy suit. And two locals just arriving downstairs. They might be fans of Louis Miles as well. Although they're not lingering for too long. Certainly no, they're not fans. Sorry about that, Louis. They are walking up the path towards the shop instead. One of them's trying to get into that backstage bar, but he doesn't quite have the accreditation for it, so he's been turned away. All good humoured though. No angst there. The Orange River Remedy fan club just tossing an empty can into the bin there, and the pirate goes back stage. Yeah, listeners might be concerned that we've not mentioning recycling bins and general waste bins, but the system here at Mosley Folk Festival is it's all undifferentiated rubbish, and then it gets separated out by the volunteers post dumping. Oh, there's a woman over there with a hat that should be borrowed by the member of the band.
Ah, yes, she has got a tricorn pirate hat there. So yes, maybe we could introduce them, and he could complete his look with that. Although pirates didn't really wear shorts though, did they? I don't think, when on the high seas.
Could be raggedy shorts, I would have thought so.
That's true, yeah. If you're maybe a deckhand would have probably worn shorts. and they probably wear away salt water. They probably sort of get shorter just because they rot a little bit.
Or you're in a cutlass battle and some stray swishes could take your legs off or your shorts off, or could take someone's legs off, and then you would take the trousers off the dead person and have a pair of shorts.
I think I'd want to wear leather trousers if I was a pirate, just for that extra protection from sword slashing. I don't think I'd feel very safe in shorts.
Well, you want chaps, so you can have shorts most of the time and then put on leather covering when you're in battle.
Yeah, it takes away the element of surprise, though, doesn't it? If you have to put on chaps, or if you are caught by surprise by another pirate ship, have you got time to put on your chaps? I don't know. We're speculating here.
It's imponderable.
Yep, she's got a pass. She's in. He has sat down now. The steward, he is allowed to sit down. So on that little bench that we were talking about earlier, he's moved it to the entrance to the backstage bar and is using it as it's intended to be used, as a bench. So we were wondering whether they were allowed to sit down. No one's come to tell him to stand up yet. So I think he's got away with it anyway.
Two children are pushed forward to have their photograph taken in front of our commentary position. They seem very reluctant to do that and need quite a bit of reassuring from Mum. There's a bit of waving back and forth there.
Some people deliberately avoiding using the temporary walkway, and they are trying to get in. I think they might have snuck in without a pass though. Oh, there's some more members of what we are speculating to be Orange River Remedy, and they've definitely got a bit of a pirate. Oh, I see what now he's done, you see. That's what you could do as a pirate, is you just roll your trousers up a little bit so they still look like shorts. Quickly pull them down when you're in battle and protect your calves.
Perfect. He's thonged up as well.
Yep. And there's a third member of the band, woman, and she's dressed like a pirate as well, I think. I don't really know what a female pirate would dress like, but looks reasonably accurate to me.
Yes, collectively a look.
Plastic bag coming down now, and I don't see many plastic bags these days. And a gentleman with a red plastic bag might have a record in it. Might have an album in there. I think he's got an album in there. Or a book. Could be a picture book. Could be a Curious George book he's taken over to take to the man with the yellow hat. Except the man with the yellow hat has now moved. But easy to spot unless he's taken his hat off, of course. He's not a Louis Miles fan, I don't think, because he's not down by the front of the stage. That's not to say he wouldn't be a Louis Miles fan were he here to listen to him.
So I think they're good on the merch, the old Orange River Remedy. Multiple t-shirts are here, and I think in addition to a t-shirt, I think that man there has got a hoodie, a black hoodie over his shoulder, which is also branded up. So if their music lives up to their branding and their merch, we should be in for a treat in a short while.
Orange, the female member of Orange River Remedy has got an orange reusable Sainsbury's bag. She's just come out of the back. She might have some pieces of 8 in there, or some dry ship's biscuits, hard tack, I think they are called. Naval biscuits. I don't think they get them anymore in the Navy. I think there's slightly more sophisticated catering now on battleships and aircraft carriers.
That'd be slightly confusing because tacking is also a manoeuvre that you do in your pirate boat, isn't it? So a hard tack you could imagine being a sharp turn and a biscuit.
Yes, I suppose you have to be careful when you give the order or when you announce that it's hard tack time, lunchtime or evening meal. But, you just have to differentiate how you say it.
A woman refuels her vaporizer with a liquid coming from what looks like an eyedropper. Ooh,
Oh, that's nice. Waffle. Oh no, not nice. She's putting it in the bin. Too much cream, I think, maybe was on that. So she's eaten half of it, maybe not quite half of it, and that's gone into the bin. So that's no reflection on the waffle stall. I'm sure it might just be down to personal taste there. Or
that's the kind of thing that drives a parent mad.
Eyes might have been bigger than her head there, possibly.
Now this is the time to see whether Florence Somerville is related to that family, because she is walking with her guitar on her back up the field. She's just had a thumbs up from an appreciative punter. She's going to that area where we've got the 3 generations. There we are. It's officially a reunion. Ah, that is sweet. Yep.
Yes, I think they are family, because there was no hugging there, no physical contact, so I think they're definitely a family. You don't need to have too visual a display of affection there to show that they care about each other.
So Louis Miles finishes that number to a round of applause. 1, 2, and they're off. It's a new number.
The man with the red beret, he's ambled up to the merchandise store and he's now ambling back down. He's got espadrilles on, a red beret and espadrilles.
I've not seen espadrilles for at least a year.
Is that since Mosley Folk last year?
Yes, I think for about 2 or 3 decades, the only place I've seen espadrilles are here in this park.
I think the leather deck shoe has rather overtaken the espadrille as the footwear of choice for people who like to dress like people who go on boats.
I think you're right. Unlike pirates, I don't think pirates wear either espadrilles or deck shoes.
Barefoot, I would say. The
barefoot or big leather boots.
Leather boots.
Nothing in between.
Yeah, I wouldn't go barefoot personally. I'd be a leather booted up.
Or you just have to be careful of splinters, don't you? Need the deck well polished.
Yes. So, if you're listening at home, you are listening to live coverage of the day 1 for us, because we don't commentate on Fridays. I don't know why that is. It's just become traditional not to commentate on a Friday. But we do commentate on a Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I just think visitors on the Friday appreciate a little bit of privacy.
Yes, different crowd on a Friday. Unless you've got a weekend ticket, in which case it's the same crowd on a Friday and Saturday. It doesn't feel appropriate. Somehow Friday just doesn't seem appropriate. Now, there's a lady in a bright orange fedora. I think that's a felt fedora. She's got orange, what I'm saying is fedora, and she's got an orange sweatshirt tied around her waist. I suspect that is an Orange River. Yes, it is. That's an Orange River Remedy hoodie, as opposed to the black Orange River Remedy hoodie. So the black Orange River Remedy hoodie has orange writing on it. The Orange River Remedy hoodie has yellow writing on it. And she's going backstage. She's not dressed like a pirate. She's dressed for the beach, possibly, though. She's got a sort of bikini top on and sort of light cotton trousers. So, okay for the beach. Less good on a pirate ship.
So it's an up-tempo number here from Louis Miles. It's injecting a bit of energy into the field now. There's a woman who was polishing a pair of boots early on. She seems to have stopped in order to listen more intently to Louis' act.
And sportingly, the fans of Orange River Remedy give Louis Miles a clap as well. They're not really here to see him, but recognise talent when they hear it.
Yep, folk isn't a zero-sum game, Craig. Everyone can be a winner.
I think the motto of the festival is that all music is folk music as well. Listeners might want to ponder that and possibly have a little debate about whether they agree with that. Is all music folk music?
I would say not. I would say music made by computer would not be folk music.
So New Order may not be folk music.
Well, there are humans involved in that. There are folk involved in that.
Kraftwerk, folk involved in that as well.
They're cusp, I would have thought.
Anyway, that's
Lou
a debate.
Metal Machine music.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, true.
Music concrete.
Well, I might say that would be folk music because it's from the kind of concrete, which is every day. Yeah, don't know.
We'll leave that to the experts.
Yep.
That's a different channel entirely. We're here to tell you the goings-on in the field rather than the academics.
If any musicologists are listening, then do let us know whether you think all music is folk music. One of the event crew there, he's got shorts that look like they're on fire, so rather than rotting away like pirate shorts. His look like they're on fire at the base, but they're not, which will be a relief to the site team and to him.
Not to go on about this too much, but to go on about it a bit more. If you drew a Venn diagram of music, the suggestion is that there's one really big circle that is folk music, and then within that you'd have your heavy metal and your all your other kinds of music.
That's not really a Venn. Because a Venn diagram has to sort of have crossover rather than a...
But then there might be crossovers within that.
So you could have Venn diagrams within the big circle.
Possibly.
Isn't that more of a mind map than a Venn diagram?
Yeah, we really are out of our depth here.
Yep. Let's move back to picnic blankets, and there's a picnic blanket there. It's purple on one side, pink on the other side. They've decided to lay down the pink side, which I think is more the waterproof side. The gentleman's just taken off an orange waterproof top, but I don't think he's a fan of Orange River Remedy. Not yet. Of course, that could very easily change when they start playing, and he realises he loves them, and he put his orange waterproof back on just to make it look like he was always a fan of Orange River Remedy all the time, and he dressed like that deliberately.
Very pleased to announce that the gentleman with the red beret is sporting a pair of glasses with the little flip down sunglasses attachment, so he can have his normal prescription glasses, and then when it gets sunny, flip down the tint and he's good to go. I admire that a lot.
One of the festival organisers walking down with an orange cardboard box, which is cable ties, I think. So possibly Orange River Remedy bought their own coloured cable ties as well.
They're starting to sound quite corporate, aren't they?
Yes, maybe too much branding. Although the gentleman in the orange waterproof coat, of course, he's not so branded up. So members of their team coming out with some chairs. Can't put them here though. They're going to have to go higher up the field. They can't put them in the this lower area in front of the main stage. One of the artists, the mural stroke graffiti artists, has turned up. Well, the lid has come off her pot of paint in transit. So I don't know whether that's caused any trouble to what's in the bottom of the crate. I think it's okay. I would say she's more of a mural artist than she is a graffiti artist, possibly looking at her work that I think she completed yesterday. And she's got in a tin of emulsion rather than spray cans as well. So it has leaked a little bit in the bottom of her crate, I think.
She could be the artist responsible for the excellent mural on the gable end of what used to be the Sage Whole Food shop on Mosley High Street, which is a picture of Janice Long.
He's in the Met Office because, as James mentioned earlier, our phones are being used. If you are listening around the world, it is midday here in Birmingham. England.
Birmingham summertime.
It's 1:15 in Paris. It's probably about 4 o'clock in the morning in New York, maybe.
Cape Town is probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Is it though? I've got a feeling they might be weirdly quite similar time to us.
Oh, I was taking that as quite similar to us. No, I think you might be right. I might have overstated that.
I'm not sure. Another one for our listeners at home to get their teeth into. The member of the backstage bar staff just popped his head out. He's looking around the site. Not quite sure what he's looking for. More beer, perhaps. Kind of sold out already. It was a big delivery this morning. Big delivery. Most of that beer was drunk yesterday and then filled up the toilets and then was sucked out again this morning to make room for some more.
Woman has a head garland, flowery head garland, tied onto her head by a friend. She's holding it in place. Friend's tying at the back. Asks if that is tight enough. Belly to show that there is a upward curved semicircle. So yeah, the ends poking up on either side. So it's a smiley face.
Yes, two eyes, two
wheels,
noses, and a smile.
The nostrils, yeah, the sort of handlebars and the saddle. Nostrils,
not two, no, yes. I think we've got a pork pie hat. There, a gentleman's just doffed it. No, maybe not a pork pie hat. I think he's wearing a trilby hat, but the wrong way round. I think. Our researchers back at HQ have sent us a list of different hats. Unfortunately, there aren't any pictures next to them to give us a clue, but we've seen a fedora. We think we've seen a trilby. Panama. I'm not sure we've seen a Panama hat. Definitely.
I do admire a Panama.
We definitely haven't seen a bowler hat. I think it'd be unlikely that we're going to see a bowler hat today, but you never know.
Probably be on stage if we did.
Tricorn pirate hat, we've seen that. Snapback 90s baseball cap. There's one just up the field there, I think. Well, yeah, maybe a little bit too more. That's kind of a relaxed baseball cap, sort of more like a Jeremy Corbyn style cap, possibly.
I think that's a forage cap right at the very top. Sort of green.
Maybe, yeah, cap. Maybe. Newsboy. A newsboy hat. That's a sort of Peaky Blinders kind of hat, isn't it? A newsboy hat. You'd think you would see that here, but I don't think we have yet. Beanie, yes, we've got that. The yellow man with the yellow hat. A bucket hat. I'm not quite sure what a bucket hat.
I think it's Manchester, isn't it? Is that Manchester?
Manchester might be the bucket hat. A baseball cap. Okay, so we've got two different kinds of baseball cap just to make things a little bit more difficult for us. So we've got the snapback. I think the snapback 90s one is one with a very wide brim, isn't it? That people often leave the sticker on. I think that's the 90s baseball cap, maybe yes. New York or possibly some rap organisation.
Yes, I've got a very steady friend who is very partial to those. So saw him in one just.
Oh no, hang on then, because now there's a rapper hat as well. No, the writing of the.
Oh, I thought it was a vapor hat. I had no idea what that was, but I think you're right, trapper. Yes.
Yeah. So boater, we think. No, we don't think we haven't seen a boater. We thought we saw a pork pie hat, but actually we're not convinced that was a pork pie hat. Top hat. Definitely haven't seen a top hat. Oh, and a Peaky Blinder. See, I thought Peaky Blinder hat was the same as a newsboy hat.
Geez, but added razor blades, isn't it?
Maybe yes. They wouldn't be able to get them in because they are very, very vigilant on the front desk.
I think, gentlemen, there, one of the.
That's a newsboy. That's a newsboy.
Volunteers. Yeah. Either newsboy or Peaky Blinder.
Yeah. That's could be either. Still. So we've got some clarity from our research team, but I think it's also opened up possibly as many questions as it has answered. But thank you, Maureen, for sending that information through.
It's often the way with knowledge, isn't it? The more you know you don't know.
Indeed. If you've got any other questions for Maureen, she's working hard behind the scenes. She's working from home today in the Cotswolds, a lovely cottage. But she does have excellent internet access there, so she will hopefully be able to answer some more questions that you have. James has got the binoculars out. He's looking to the top of the field there. So often at the top of the field there used to be little craft stores, face painting, that kind of activity, but a lot of that has moved now to folk on the slope, which is a third stage, not third in terms of quality, just third in terms of numerical value, on the other side of the park. So you go down a few steps past the bar, alongside the lake, to another field there, which is also a natural amphitheatre.
Just wanted to say a little thing.
So that was the end of Louis Miles's set there. Got lots of applause. And now it's a little announcement from the main stage, explaining about the renaming of the Lunar stage to the Janice Long stage.
Her legacy going as part of the festival. So Louis Miles, who's just performed as the
So
first
she's just describing
Janice Long,
the important part that Janice Long played in the festival, and the bursary in her name. So he'll be supported over the year to continue developing his musical career, and how that bursary is in the name of Janice Long, continues her support for new musicians, even though she's no longer with us.
So it's memorial now on the main stage. Announced coming from Brighton.
So that introduced there by Catherine Priddy there, rather than Danielle, who was doing some of the earlier announcing. And I think this is a two-piece band, 2 guitars. Could be some percussion in there, but we can't see quite that far back on stage.
Man in beige dungarees. That must be fairly difficult to source.
Yes, they're a little bit short for him. Possibly he's grown since his mum bought him those, and you might want to let them down a little bit. I'm just saying hello, doing a little bit of tuning up. Oh no, I think that's the song. Actually, that's the start of the song.
With a noodling, start with a noodling. Some bands start with a high impact. Others start with a little noodle before coming in. Here we go. Maureen's done us absolutely proud here.
Yes, Maureen has faxed through some drawings that she has made. I don't know why she didn't print them out and send us some properly illustrated ones, but they are still useful. Thank you, Maureen. So baseball cap, I think we're confident on that one. Fedora, I'm not sure that drawing is very helpful, distinguishable, although yeah, it's got a slightly domed top fedora, which I think is what the man with the yellow hat wore in the Curious George books. Panama hat, yeah, we've got that. Bowler, yeah, we knew that one. Snapback, yes. Oh, I see. With the peak will snap back, and the newsboy. Maureen's drawing looks more like the sort of silk hat that a jockey might put over the top,
like a jockey's hat,
over the thing. So I think that's more to do with Maureen's drawings than it is. Anyway, thank you, Maureen. If you could find some actual images on the internet, that would be helpful. But in the meantime, that is very helpful indeed. That's Flat Cap, I think, that one of the members of the... is it, or is that a newsboy? No, maybe that's a newsboy.
I think that's a newsboy.
Newsboy.
If it's not a Peaky Blinder, but yeah, it's not flat at all. It's slightly pleated.
So what am I wearing? That's a flat cap. That's a flat cap
yeah.
I'm wearing, I think. Yeah.
There's a woman there wearing a pair of Wellington boots. I'm very confident that those are Wellington boots, and that seems quite a pessimistic call given the ground conditions and the weather forecast.
It might be her lucky festival footwear, though, of course.
Yes.
And I think there might be other Outback boots. I think that lady walking out there, they might be Australian Outback boots, but I think we should possibly steer clear of getting into too much footwear. We're already Maureen's at capacity, I think, with her hat research, so we will stand down on the footwear, Maureen. I think we can cope with that.
Man is Susie and the Banshees t-shirt, reads a novel. He's just starting that novel, just a few pages in. He's got his back to Memorial on the main stage, but he's now turned the novel over so he doesn't lose his place. And he's picked up his phone.
The little girl running down there, she's got silver training shoes on and rainbow net sort of skirt, and she's got some sort of glittery headpiece. Is that a fascinator? There's another item of headwear. I think she's got a fascinator there. That's the first fascinator we've seen.
Yes, they were big last year, I think, the fascinators. Time will tell if they have a similar impact on this year's festival. And the Somervilles are on the move.
Someone doing some embroidery down there. We've got knitting over in the centre of the field, and we've got embroidery going on as well. It's kind of a sort of zigzag pattern.
First pints of, whether that's stout or Guinness, but certainly first pints of that dark liquid there. Those two gentlemen next to the Tarpaulin twins, well, family, three of them.
Oh yeah, someone's arrived on the tarpaulin. Either that or the little girl who was with them has grown up very, very quickly. I think it's a different person.
The artistic director of a theatre company specialising in rehabilitating prisoners takes a first sip of a cloudy,
very cloudy pint. More cloudy than the sky is here today, and it is quite a cloudy sky, but non-threatening cloudy sky.
Protective, I'd say. So reducing the ultraviolet content. Now here we go. I think there's a gentleman there. Yes, he's wearing a T-shirt that has a date on it. I wasn't convinced whether it was 1867 or 1967, but he's just adjusted his position. It is 1967, possibly the year of his birth. I think that would work. Not sure what other events in 1967 would warrant a T-shirt.
Quite a lot of student protests went there in Paris in 1967, I think.
Was that? I think of that more as 68, but I could be wrong.
Maybe 68. Maybe it was sort of Christmas.
Yeah, started off.
New Year, possibly. Another one for Maureen there, possibly. When were the revolutionary protests of the late 60s? Thank you, Maureen.
Now some technical gentlemen come with cable splitters. It's what are those, 14 amp, 16 amp? This is a 13 amp adapter on the end of that one. They're coming backstage here.
There's a couple there. She having her photo taken by her partner. I think they're partners. She's got a little floral headband on and some glittery face decoration. I don't know whether she's had that done. I think she has had it done. We saw a sign earlier, didn't we, James, for Sparkle, something Sparkle.
That's it at the top of this field, just on the right here.
So I think there is still face painting. So if you were at home thinking of coming in but weren't sure whether you're going to be able to get your face painted, you can. So if that was going to be a deal breaker about coming or not, rest assured you can have some glittery face paint.
Now, in their defence, the family with the tarpaulin have pretty much filled the tarpaulin with friends and relatives.
Yeah, so now it's looking like they should have had the whole thing open. But like the ground is nice and dry. So Maureen has faxed in some events of 1967. Of course, should have known this one. The referendum on Gibraltar. So I don't know how we forgot that. Beatles released Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and ironically, that's also the first human heart transplant as well.
I suspect that is what the T-shirt is memorialising there.
Sgt. Pepper, or the first heart transplant?
Heart transplant.
Heart transplant, yes. So thank you very much, Maureen.
She is on fire this morning, Craig.
She is.
Internet cranked right up there.
Your family just make their way down the hill now. The little boy's got his hands in his fingers in his ears. He's not a fan of Memorial at all. So they are going to have to work hard to win him round, I think. The little girl, she looks like she might be more into them. She's got wellies on as well, and hers have got, I think they might be their children's TV characters. Could be Octonauts, could be Teenage Titans Go on her Wellingtons, or they might be sort of Pokemon type things. They're a little bit muddy. It's quite hard to tell.
Gentleman there who I think he's one of the couple who is sat on the Tesco's bag. I think I might have got to the bottom of the mystery of why they've not got a picnic blanket, because I think he has cut off his picnic blanket in order to make his tartan cap.
Oh yes, I see. So it took me a while to see. What is that? It's a flat. Is that
tartan flat cap?
That's a flat. You think that's a flat cap? That's a flat cap, I think, isn't it? So maybe there's a distinct Scottish in the Venn diagram of caps. There are possibly Scottish variants. Other home nation variants also would be available, I'm sure. Oh, we've got Stetson. Maureen didn't attempt to draw a Stetson. The curves are quite difficult to render, I think. So first Stetson.
That really does look like the previous guy's hat has grown. It's just exactly the same shape, just bigger. The exciting news that the Morrison's bag, which I thought was just a long life Morrison's bag, is a bespoke picnic bag. It's got a lid, a little flappy lid there. I'm not sure if it zips, but it certainly flaps over to retain a bit of coolness and shelter the contents of the bag from the sun.
Someone else spots the Stetson and points it out. Some A-frame blackboards are being brought out into sort of being put in the way of the walkway. Maybe that's deliberate to catch people's attention, so they'll go into the stall there.
A woman with mint green nails eats potato wedges with a wooden fork, dunking them in mayonnaise.
The man with the yellow hat is coming back. He's paused to look. It's worked because he's paused to read what is on those blackboards, which have been deliberately put into the middle of the footway there. The gentleman puts his 2 coffee cups into the bin, and he's asking the steward where he can fill up his water bottle. And we could tell him that it's just by the toilet, sir. He can't hear us though, because he's not listening online like you are at home. 2 pints come out from backstage. Gentleman wearing a St. Pauli hat. See, that I would say that's a sort of communist workers' hat. It's like a baseball cap, but it's got a slightly more built-up, structured, and yet soft sides compared to a baseball cap.
Now there's exciting development here as Man in the Susie and Banshees t-shirt, reading a novel. It's now lying down, holding the book up above his head so he can read it, which has allowed us to spot through the binoculars what it is he's reading, and it's a novel, a science fiction novel from the Masterworks series, and it's Clifford D. Simak's novel City. It's quite possibly, the first of a quartet of space opera novels, but who knows. He's certainly cracking into that with A Monument as his soundtrack. Man decides to go single denim in front of us because it's clouded over and there's a very, very gentle breeze.
Food coming backstage. Looks like double carbohydrate there. Looks like a baked potato on top of some chips, which is that's a particular fashionable diet at the moment. The double carbohydrate diet. So a young family make their way down. The father's got his hands full there. The mother's, she's doing her part as well. So she's got a couple of chairs on her back and holding the hand of the toddler, while the father carries the younger child on his front in a harness, and then he's got 2 bags over one shoulder with their coats, and he's got a reusable shopping bag in his other hand, which I think has got more coats in it, possibly their blanket. They've got some ear defenders for the children. That other child would have appreciated that, because he had his fingers in his ears as he was walking down the path. Memorial gets a very appreciative round of applause. A couple of friends sit down, and a couple of members of the Orange River Remedy fan club. They've just gone to get themselves some food. I wonder if they've got orange food. They're getting right down the front so that they have got orange food actually.
Potato wedges, pretty orangey, aren't they?
Yep.
Carving up before their favourite band's appearance, which will be after Memorial.
Another pair of dungarees, not on stage, off-stage dungarees.
Memorial just announced they're about to play a song that's only 2 weeks old, so hopefully you can remember it because it's only just been composed, but they've not managed to knock the edges off it yet, perhaps. Let's see how this goes down.
So crowd now gathering in front of the Janice Long stage, making sure they've got prime position for Orange River Remedy, and they've bought themselves some.
They are fancy chips,
fries,
aren't they?
Are fancy
Masala fries.
Masala fries does make them look a little bit more orange, and a family attempt to get in, and yes, they've got the correct accreditation, so they are.
I think she's
allowed
got a slice of lime on there, Craig, and possibly some chopped up mint or maybe oregano, parsley, perhaps.
We did eat from there last night, and it was very nice indeed. I'm sure all the other catering outlets are equally good as well.
Another splitter comes backstage. There's a lot of electrical splitting going on here.
And Maureen has been busy, despite us telling her not to worry about it. She obviously has worried about it and has sent us some of her drawings of different styles of footwear. Chelsea boots. I don't think we've seen any of those. Chukka boots. She's chosen a quite esoteric selection here, Maureen, to send us through. Cowboy boots.
Mostly just the C section of the boot.
Maybe she's not got through the alphabet. Well, she's missed out everything from D to S pretty much. Yeah, the Aussie work boots. Yes, we did spot that. Haven't seen any football boots yet, and I don't think we're going to see any snow boots either, Maureen. But thank you very much indeed for that. We will be compiling these Maureen's pictures into a little guide that we'll post online after we finish broadcasting, so you can look at those tomorrow if you're listening at home tomorrow, and you'll know what we're talking about. Some packaging from Picnic goes into the bin there. I think that was possibly from a fruit salad. Slices of mango, grapefruit, not grapefruit, wouldn't be grapefruit, melon, it would be melon and mango. I don't think you'd have mango and grapefruit. Somervilles are going into the merchandise stall. Possibly she's signing, or possibly she's seeing if anybody has bought any of her merchandise. She may not have merchandise, quite new to the business.
The yellow garb guy has found himself magnetically drawn to the green bench there. He's just checking his phone. Got a feeling that bench is possibly reserved, but he's giving a sort of round of applause to Memorial there from that bench. He's looking a bit tired actually. He might well have done a full shift with Supergrass yesterday. I don't know if there was an after party, but he could have gone to that.
And some team members from the Love Brum organisation are, I think they're selling raffle tickets there. And the local businesswoman hands over some of her hard-earned money to that good cause.
What business does she run?
I think it's aloe vera. I think which you could possibly rub onto a wasp sting. I think that would be okay. Maybe not a burn though.
They make claims to that aloe vera, don't they?
They do. So we're not recommending that. We're not doctors, so we're not saying yes or no to aloe vera treatments for particular skin ailments. Please do not take anything we say medically as definitive.
So it's 20 to 1, possibly a touch early for lunch for most people, so the only queue over in the food concession area is at that Asian street food concession, and they have a queue built up there. Looks like they're doing a roaring trade. Might be in that situation where they people see someone eating something and they fancy it themselves.
More rubbish being put into the bin. That was a sandwich and possibly a might have been some mini pork pie box.
Part of the burden carried by the young dad was a tiny fold-up chair that their son is sat on. I think you'd have to be a harsh steward to banish that child from sitting on that chair.
Yes, even though he's on a chair, he's actually only the same height as an adult sitting down anyway, so we'll see where that falls in the book of regulations. Yeah, fourth umpire will probably be looking at that and poring through the rule book, which I think does get amended every year a little bit as new precedents are set, and that might involve a new appendix. I wonder when the first appendix operation was. That would be before 1967, I imagine. It's much more straightforward than a heart transplant.
Yes, and did the appendix in a book precede the naming of the human organ or not? It's probably not an organ, is it? It's probably just a feature.
Is it a gland? Is the appendix a gland or a...
Key is that it's a vestigial gland, if it is a gland.
Yes.
A useless gland.
Perhaps Maureen will, if she's got time after looking at... There is a pirate now. We actually have got a pirate. So this is interesting stuff now. So they are wearing work... I would say they're steel toe-capped work boots, which wasn't on Maureen's list. Tricorn hat, which was on her list. Long coat, long trousers. I think he's been here before, that pirate. I think he's been here before.
Embarrassingly, he looks very much unlike the Orange River Remedy people that we were speculating did look like pirates.
Yes, he's made more of an effort to look like a pirate. Maureen has just sent through the news. Well, it's not news, it's more of a fact. The first appendix operation, as far as she can discover, was in 1735, and she says that the organ came before the book. So I don't know whether she knows that it is an organ or not, whether she's just written that down. So organ, the name of the bodily feature came before the feature of a book, the appendix. That kind of makes sense, I imagine. Makes sense.
The multicoloured knitting woman admires her weekend pass, and I think that's partly because it matches her colour scheme. Having said that, she's wearing so many different colours that you struggle to find a colour that wouldn't match her colour scheme. It did make me think it must be tricky for people at the gate who are checking wristbands as people come to and fro from the toilets to identify which is her Mosley Folk wristband, because she has a lot of fabric around her wrist, all different colours and band widths.
Some bright orange training shoes going past. I don't know whether they are fans of Orange River Remedy or not, but certainly wearing the right colour shoes. Love Brum team going up to the family on the large tarpaulin, and yes, they got success there. So correction, sorry listeners, just going to carry on a little bit with the raffle ticket transaction. So there's some discussion. I think he's giving his phone number so he can be contacted if he wins. Not sure what the prize is. If you win the Love Brum raffle, the tickets get handed over, and a little bit of conversation. He's probably also asking what the prize is. She's saying it's a free entry to something, possibly. She's wearing, they're not quite Australian work boots, they're more Doc Martens, but with a slightly thicker sole than your standard Doc Marten, I would say. Anyway, yes, correction from Maureen before the incorrect information spreads too far around the world. The book came before the organ stroke gland. The name appendix comes from the book rather than the gland. So you see, that makes less sense to me. But anyway, Maureen knows best. We've got our researchers out and about on the ground as well, so they are going to find out for us what the prize is, I think, for the Love Brum raffle. So if you want to, if you're impressed by the prize, you have to weigh up whether it's worth the price of an entry ticket to come in and buy a raffle ticket. Or maybe we could buy one for you, possibly. Then we'd have to meet you outside to get the cash off you at the gate, which would be quite complicated to arrange. It's not impossible though. We'll see what can be done.
Wondering if the Orange River Remedy are speculating that they might be bought out by the Easy Corporation, and that then they wouldn't have to change their branding very much because they've got the orange right, and so yes, Easy, the Easy Orange River Remedy or the Easy River Remedy would be that might take it a bit far actually. I'm not sure they'd be up for that. Probably just happy with the merchandise they got going already.
So we've got two of the cans that we saw from the Grab and Grow stall being drunk beneath us now. One cider and I just missed what the gentleman was drinking there. Didn't quite catch what he had. Purple wristband today, I think, for Saturday. Purple wristband.
Interestingly, on Sunday it becomes the same wristband as the weekend pass wristband.
That's right, so you can pretend that you've been here all weekend when you've only actually done a day's work here. And new system this year, they've got a little QR code on which you get scanned in. So we certainly got scanned in this morning. I don't know whether that's the same for members of the public or as well, or just for staff members. The gentleman just tosses in a little bit of paper into the bin. It might have been a napkin from his picnic.
He's wearing an Ancient Mariner t-shirt.
The festival organisers carrying a mysterious bag up the slope there on the temporary walkway. I'm just getting word in my ear from our on-site. This isn't from Maureen. This is from our on-site research team, and who have news. Now this is worth. I think this is worth coming possibly. So the prize of the raffle are VIP tickets to next year's festival. Money raised goes to the Love Brum charity. You get a complimentary breakfast and a complimentary tissue. I think I can't quite read the handwriting there. So complimentary breakfast, complimentary tissue, and VIP tickets to next year's festival. So that probably is worth coming in at least for one day to get to buy raffle tickets for that.
Complimentary tissues could be useful if it's a high pollen count that year and you have the hay fever.
That's right, or if there are very emotional music on. If there's any tear jerkers, the complimentary tissues could be useful there. There's a man in a Seasick Steve t-shirt there. Seasick Steve is tonight's headliner. As a gentleman's being pushed down in his wheelchair down that specially laid roadway, wider than a walkway. I think it could take a vehicle, but no vehicles allowed down here, so that won't be put to the test. Certainly not during festival opening hours.
We're going to try another new one. The same reason as before.
So Monument announced they're going to do another new song. So there's a very little chance anyone's going to sing along with this. Kind of a niche band singing a new song.
More dungarees, third pair of dungarees. I think these are my favourite so far. Slightly work weary.
They're very much more fitted than the Monument beige dungarees.
Paired with a pair of Australian work boots, I think, with a slight suede finish. Someone's just bought this year's t-shirt in a cream colour, I think that was. The earlier one was in a more dark green, possibly black. This one quite magnolia, I think, if you were looking at a paint colour chart.
Yeah, man's given up on the science fiction novel for a little while. Maybe just mulling over the cliffhanger of that chapter end.
Gentleman wearing what is a baseball cap with some mirrored sunglasses resting on the brim. A lady with a brightly coloured handbag where the top flap is decorated with balloons, not real balloons, in the pictures of balloons, and then is cut to the outline of the balloons rather than just straight lines, if you can picture that. It's gone very mellow here at Saturday here at the Folk Festival. The band take it down a notch. People are starting to have their lunches, have a drink. I think those mojitos, I think, might be being drunk down there, James.
Ooh, that's a great choice. Summer drink.
Yes, they might be needing a little nap later on. The man in the yellow hat has been joined by the lady in the fuchsia cardigan.
This is music to embroider by, it seems.
A couple share a little kiss there. He gets up. Obviously that was a good luck kiss as he's making his way across the site to possibly go on foraging or crocodile hunting.
One of the mojito drinkers is the woman in the floral headband that we saw being tied up earlier on, and she's just taking the opportunity to stir up the mojito to try and release, she's at it again there, try and release some of those mint flavours. Maybe cool the drink down even more with that crushed ice.
The gentleman who was speculating is a member of Orange River Remedy, the pirate. Has just come out to have a look at the stage. Gets a pat and gives a pat on the back to the person who gave him a pat on the back. And if he is going on stage, he's playing it quite cool. He's
Just
also giving away the surprise a little bit by coming out.
Yeah, he's just got 5 minutes to go before he's due on that stage, and he's got most of a pint of beer in his left hand as well. So that's playing it very, very cool indeed.
A lady in a gingham shirt just put some rubbish into the bin. That shirt could double up as a tablecloth later, and when they have their picnic. The area, the slope, the Mosley Mound in front of the main stage now filling up. There's still room though, so if you are at home and you're trying to decide what size of picnic blanket to bring with you, I would say you can get in, certainly get in a 6x4 foot picnic blanket in several locations at the moment. I wouldn't bring bigger than that, but you'll be safe with that at the moment. Obviously, it depends how far you have to travel, because that could all change over the next few minutes as more people arrive on site.
Apologies if I've alarmed any Orange River Remedy fans. Mentioned they'll be on stage in 5 minutes. Of course, it's 20 minutes time. They're on at 1:15. So, yeah, relax. You can continue to make your way onto the festival site at a gentle pace, because we have got 20 minutes to go.
There's a gentleman sitting on a pink picnic blanket down there who has he's taken his shoes off, and he's just got he's relaxing there. His wife's lying down. He's taking his shoes off, stretching back, and in front of him someone is lying down reading. I think that's a notebook they're reading there, rather than possibly their or is that a mini, is that a fold-out e-reader, possibly? I'm not quite sure. James just passing me the binoculars.
Yeah, guy's back on his science fiction novel.
I think it's a big phone. It's in between an e-reader and a phone. I think it's big enough to be able to read a book on. Slightly oversized for a phone, I would say.
Yeah, we're in an era when sizes, categories are all breaking down around us. Not least hat definitions, boot definitions, and whether all music is indeed folk music.
The Orange River Remedy fans have finished off their masala chips. Good timing that. They put the rubbish into the bin. They've got a few minutes for that to go down before Orange River Remedy come on stage. It's a little bit of digestion time. Maybe not enough though. I think they might. Well, it depends how lively the Orange River Remedy band are. Whether they might have left eating a little bit late. I might have waited till after.
Indeed, Craig. Now, one of their fans is setting up a recorder on a little tripod, but the legs of the tripod are very, very short.
Thank you so much.
Meaning the base of the triangle there is possibly just 30 centimetres by 30 centimetres. So she's now trying to build a series of supports on around those legs with well, certainly one bag there, and the vertical element of that tripod, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4, if not 5 sections, so it telescopes down remarkably short. And she's found it a bit difficult to make it stable on this uneven surface.
More dungarees now, and a couple sit down with 2 pints. She's got a green denim jacket on. He's got grey, I think they're denim dungarees. They've both got a little bit of glitter on their faces. He unravels his picnic blanket. It's a striped one, this one, with a mixture of width of stripe, broad red stripe followed by a narrow green stripe. He sits himself down. His partner hands him his pints. We're speculating that they're together. They may not be, of course. He relaxes back, ready for some Orange River Remedy action, and the Orange River Remedy fan club are down at the front of the stage there. They've staked out a prime position there. They've been here pretty much since the beginning of the day, when heavily branded up with their Orange River Remedy t-shirts and hooded tops. Possibly you can buy those in the merchandise stall today, we're not sure. £15 apparently, which I would say for a t-shirt a little bit steep, for a hooded top not bad, I would say. The couple with the sparkly faces are just sitting back now, ready to have a little drink. A gentleman looks at his litre canister, or 4 litre canister of drink, and kindly gives it to his bulk of it to his friend there, and just has the last little bit of it himself. And the gentleman tosses a water bottle into the bin. He's got a Snoopy picnic rug, which is the first Snoopy picnic rug we've seen this year. And they're heading down in front of the main stage. A little bit of tuning up going on the Janice Long stage. If you're listening at home, I'm afraid we can't actually see what's happening there, but there's some tuning up going on.
Susan Banshee's science fiction fan is just taking a little break from the novel there, resting his eyes.
I think the embroidery has the seamstress, she's moved, I think she might have packed up for the day on her embroidery, possibly gone to get some lunch, can take it out of you. Constant embroidery, you need to rest the eyes every now and again, particularly on a slightly overcast day like today.
Still very clear on the food field over there. No queues at all except for Vietnamese, the Peruvian street food. Small queue there, but everything else is clear. Gentleman in a flowered shirt buys a tea or a coffee or a hot chocolate.
I think something terrible might have happened in the sci-fi novel that the gentleman was reading, because he's now lying back with his hand on his forehead and the book still open on his chest. So I don't know what's happened in that book, but he's having to give it a little bit of thought there as to whether he wants to carry on or not.
So cranked up on Red Bull, the graffiti artist surveys his, you can call it canvas I suppose, bit of plyboard. Last couple of swigs. He's ready to select his opening can. There we go, absolute prime view of the cans here. Can give you a little preview even of what the picture's going to be, but that might spoil it, Craig, if we let on.
It might. What's great about this, of course, is you can't quite see what it is yet until it's finished. And he's rifling through his cans there, looking for, possibly looking for the picture. And he's just having a little bit of a tidy up. I think he might have left the picture
There's a
home.
rising sense of panic here, I think, Craig. Oh no, it's just going for the tape measure. There we go.
Puts the palette back in. I don't know, graffiti artists used palettes.
No, well, artistic one. Here we are. That is the final swig now, I think.
And there's a family there, a group of friends there with 3 tote bags, so the totalizer is going up. They've decided to move position a little bit, not quite happy with being on the edge, so they're edging their way into a more central position there with their I think that's gingham, no, maybe tartan picnic blanket, using the wind there to their advantage to get the picnic blanket to spread out.
So the graffiti artist is using a white chalk marker to start his grid going. The mixing engineer in front of the jazz long stage seems to have moved from tablet to phone mixing, which is a reduction in scale of impressive magnitude.
The gentleman in the piratey golden shirt, who we thought might be in Orange River Remedy, I don't think he is. He's come to sit in front with the rest of the Orange River Remedy fan club, and he's getting out some tobacco from his pouch. You might like to know that there's a couple of roll-up filters just on the ground beneath us. If he hasn't brought his filters with him, he could get. There's a big hug there from 2 members of the Orange River Remedy fan club.
It occurs to me, Craig, if the fans are that glamorous, how glamorous is the band going to be?
Well, we will never know, because we can't actually see the stage here, so we'll have to rely on the reaction of the crowd to give us a sense of how gorgeous or not they are. The gentleman up there with an orange plastic, it's not quite a picnic blanket, it's not quite a plastic bag, but he's certainly chosen the right colour for the next band on stage, either deliberately or not. The lady in the fuchsia caravan is getting excited. The man with the yellow hat is just finishing off his bag of crisps.
Now this is a major operation, Craig. The young family who set up camp right down here in front of us, having carried multiple bags and 2 children across the field, are now moving, but they've added a level of difficulty to the operation by buying a massive load of food.
Yes, they've got a pizza box and 4 other... He's done it though. He has done it. So he's balancing that pizza box in his right hand, carrying, and on top of that are 2 other dishes, and in his left hand he's got another dish, and they are making their way up the field now. I think possibly what's happened is the mum is pulling her weight a little bit more than she was before, and she's carrying a bit more stuff than she did when they walked down, and the little boy's carrying his own chair. I don't know where they're going to go. I think they realise that they can't have their picnic chairs on this bit, and as they're having a picnic, they want to use the picnic chairs.
Yeah, they're very grateful for the smooth path that's been laid there, because you don't want to carry all that open food teetering on the uneven grass up this field.
We've had a change of shift with the security staff beneath us at the Black Swan entrance. The previous steward has gone off, been given a little break. Hopefully he'll have been given some meal vouchers so he can get himself some food before he has his next shift.
There's programmed a long gap between the acts here, Craig. Memorial have been off stage for a while now. Still at 5 minutes to go for the Orange River Remedy.
The lady with the, I think that's a Richard Hawley t-shirt. She is a year late. Richard Hawley was on last year, madam, so I hope you're not going to be too disappointed by that. The graffiti artist is just doing some measuring up there with his chalk line. It's, you might imagine it would be more free flow than that, but it's actually a very precision operation to when you're creating a mural like that.
That's how it ends up being so photorealistic, Craig.
Stretches it across again. He's doing it on his own, so he's having to hook that in there. And he hasn't got a spirit level though. I think I'd have had a spirit level if it was me, but maybe he's so practiced at it that he gets it right by eye.
This man there's got a phone absolutely jammed to his ear. He's listening to something rather than having a phone conversation, because he's not got the microphone anywhere near his mouth. He possibly is feeling the withdrawal symptoms from folk music, so he might be tuned into a radio station there, or playing some of his own music, or maybe he's trying to follow some sports results.
Sorry to interrupt, James. 2 ice creams just gone past our commentary position there. Sorry to interrupt.
Mint chocolate chip and a chocolate, just straight chocolate there. Good choices. Now, it's not cow's milk, is it? Is this the...
I think this is sheep's milk ice
sheep's
cream.
milk,
It's
yeah.
difficult to tell from here because they kind of look the same, but I think it is sheep's milk. I'm not quite sure what difference that has to the flavour. A little girl there with a flower and a glittery underbrow walks up towards the merchandise store. Some members or
That was the
fans-
band. I think that is the band.
Oh, they're going backstage. They've been out front just to mingle with their fans. That's a nice touch. That just the having the common touch there to go outside and
I'm not
and
sure it's very
mingle with your
professional though,
fans.
is it, Craig? Is that
It has
professional?
rather spoiled the surprise, but we'll see. Maybe there'll be some massive costume change, so when they come back out, we won't recognise them.
Might wear massively sensible clothes on stage.
We must be getting close now. The videographer for Orange River Remedy has just turned her camera around to scan the enormous crowd that have gathered just for Orange River Remedy this afternoon, and she focuses it back now towards the stage. The sense of anticipation on the Mosley Mound is palpable, James.
Yes, a woman sits down there. She's put her blanket directly behind the main mixing desk in the field, so I'm not sure she's going to see much of the main stage there, but she'll have an excellent view of the jazz long stage, which might be all she's after.
Another 2 novels, 3 novels being read on Mosley Mound at the moment. Orange River Remedy will be hoping to remedy that and get people off their books, eyes off books, onto the stage.
Yeah, they're way too far away to see what those novels are, Craig.
Yes, apologies if you were listening at home, hoping that we will be able to tell you the titles of that. We can't do that. We might send one of our research team out to have a little scout around, see if they can find out the titles of those. The young family
Memory of
water.
No, it's a longer word than that. Literature.
2 waffles making their way past the
Departure. Memory of departure.
memory of departure. Not familiar with that. We saw a waffle being thrown in the bin earlier. Hopefully these waffles will be a little more palatable than that one was. And there's a little bit of a queue now to get backstage, and a couple just asking what is back there to the security guard, and she's having to explain to them that they haven't got the accreditation, and it is a bit of a wonderland back there. I'm afraid you're only allowed back there if you've got a particular wristband. Those 2 people have. They're lucky. They are going to see quite something back there, James.
They certainly are, Craig. I've seen something quite marvellous out here. We've got a innovation, a woman using a pair of deck shoes as pint glass holders, which is tremendous. Gives them a much wider base and much less likely to fall over. But if they do fall over, you've got deck shoes full of beer, so that's not ideal. Actually, I think they've had cocktails in there, I think. There's a lot of glass, residual ice.
You wouldn't be able to use an espadrille, I don't think, for carrying pints of beer. Hasn't quite got the substance, but
You need high sides, don't you?
deck shoe, not bad. Obviously, Australian work boots would be even better.
Wellington boots, you could have a huge container in there.
You could have a flagon.
You'd lose your pint though in there. Shot glass would be a nightmare.
Yep. So this must be getting close now to Orange River Remedy. The sound engineer comes out front with his iPad ready to mix front of house so he can actually hear it.
Must be a relief to everyone.
Getting an announcement now from, we're presuming it's Danielle, but it could be Catherine, can't quite see. It's a massive round of applause, rings around, echoes around the park here. And a little kick of the bass drum, but don't think that's all we're going to get. Oh, one of the fan clubs almost missed it. He went to get himself a can from Grab and Go. Maybe it wasn't quite go enough, more grab than go, but he's having to sprint down the temporary walkway. Maybe they're waiting for him to come before they start. Still a little bit of noodling, as James describes it. And it's gone very quiet here now, the sense of anticipation for the much hyped Orange River Remedy is, I don't know, there's possibly some issue. I haven't quite started yet. We've got some news from our on-site researcher and from Maureen back at home in the Cotswolds. James, do you want to share what we've got there?
Yes, indeed, Craig. Of course, we've had a little survey of novels out there. We've got a bit of Margaret Drabble, someone dabbling in the Drabble. The Fortune Men. I've not read that myself, but I'm sure that's tremendous. And then the Rosewater, which I think might be a Piranesi novel. Yeah, some genre fiction, various kinds, and then we've got yes, from the Cotswolds, a Dungaree indications. Oh, now that is a nice dark green leather jacket.
Very nice, and suede desert boots, I would say they are.
Tick the desert boots off. I think he's bought his drink to coordinate with his outfit there, because the dark stout goes with the black tight-fit jeans in a way that a cloudy lager wouldn't.
So Orange River Remedy are off, and the member of the bar staff, backstage bar staff, goes out to have a quick look to see what all the fuss is about. And crowd now being drawn in by a very full sound. Had a bit of harmonica there.
Yeah, a bit of harmonising as well as harmonica.
Indeed. And I think there's some more news, Maureen. As if you're listening at home, you'll know we were on Dungaree watch this morning, and she's sent through a range of different dungarees, which I didn't know there was such a range. So there's the skirt dungaree, which I suppose is self-explanatory. There's I suppose a little bit of apron top and then a skirt rather than trousers. Dungaree with cropped pants. Not sure what that is. No drawing of that. Short dungaree, which I imagine is like the skirt dungaree but with shorts. And a one strap dungaree, which I suppose you wouldn't have to buy separately. You could just buy a two strap dungaree and not do one strap up, and then you've got yourself a one strap dungaree.
Louis Miles, fresh from his act on the jazz song stage, is now taking full advantage of the airlock bar. Must be great to be one of the early acts and to be finished off and able to enjoy the rest of the day.
The mural artist is having a little dance there, not the graffiti artist, he's too busy. The mural artist, she was having a little sway there to Orange River Remedy. They've getting the crowd going, getting the crowd gathering. They're coming down the hill, drawn in by the music now. I hope it doesn't affect her artwork too much there, that she'll still... no, she's still quite focused. She's having a little jig when she steps back to have a look at her handiwork.
The gentleman with the tartan picnic blanket converted flat cap has just been brought something to eat by his partner, and just have a little home in on what that is for you. I think they've both got the same meal. Could be the jerk chicken. Yeah, I think that's jerk chicken with rice and peas, which is good going because I had it yesterday and they'd run out of the rice and peas, which is a bit disappointing, and didn't even give us a discount.
Members of the last band who were on, I think were they Memorial or Monument?
Monument.
They have finished their gig and they are walking down the platform now. He's got, they're not cropped dungarees, they're just slightly too short dungarees. I don't think they've got a distinct category, more extension cables and adapters going backstage. I don't know what's going on back there, something pretty exciting, I imagine.
Memorial.
Yes, Monument, very different band. Monument, so apologies to them, well, and apologies to Memorial for confusing them. Monument, I think, were
it would work as a supergroup, wouldn't it? Monument, Memorial, that would work.
Yes, you'd only need two articulated lorries. You could have one with Monument painted on top and one with Memorial painted on the top.
And so, like a memorial monument could be, well, Mount Rushmore. Would that count as a memorial monument?
I think so. They're all those presidents are dead, aren't they? So it acts as both, I think. A little bit more movement there of rearranging of picnic blankets. So pushchair arrives, weaves its way past one of the flag poles, and they decided to just stop there. Quite good, the temporary walk actually, because it has helped to define what is and what is not seating area. I know in previous years there's been a little bit of spillage from the seating area onto the what should be the walkway. This does solve that problem. It wouldn't be very comfortable sitting on there, I don't think.
Really must apologise, listeners. Seem to have entirely neglected the fact that a load of massaging is going on just off the main path down from the entrance to the bar and the folk on the slope. There are a series of camp stools set up, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 masseuses in purple t-shirts working away on 1, 2, 3 clients. One is digging her elbows into that little pity bit in your shoulders.
Yes, so I think very soon I might go on a little wander around the festival site, and I'll be able to give you a little bit more closer coverage of the massage. There's another red plastic bag, so I think they are bags that people are buying vinyl records in, possibly. So I will go and have a look at that as well, rather than trouble our on-site researchers with that. I think they're possibly on a break.
The Orange River Remedy are cranking up the energy, and the audience are reciprocating. A bit of whooping and hollering, lots of applause.
Yes, certainly pleasing their fan base there. Some of whom are sitting down because they're a little bit more elderly, perhaps. Those waffles are back. Well, the empty waffle boxes are back, so that's a good sign. And the brother points to the bin, and the chucks it into the bin there. He's finished all of that, so well done him.
The East Asian street food concession remains the most popular over the field there.
So the grid is marked out now on the piece of plywood hoarding beneath us, ready for the artwork to be sprayed on. I remember last year we were a little bit anxious because it was underneath our commentary position, and the graffiti artist himself was wearing quite high-tech protective breathing apparatus, whereas we were completely unprotected, and the fumes from the graffiti cans were wafting up into our commentary position. So hopefully the wind will be in our favour this year and send the fumes away, because it's quite difficult to commentate whilst wearing breathing apparatus.
There's a woman come down to front of the stage here, dancing away. She's brought a dog with her. She's jiggling away. The dog wasn't jiggling away. It was trying to pull her away from the stage, but she's just told the dog to lie down. It's obediently done that. My impression is that it's only assistant dogs allowed on site, so we'll keep an eye out to see what assistance that dog gives its owner, because at the moment it's not entirely obvious.
Might be in a band, of course.
Yeah, you'd probably be allowed on if you were an artist dog. Yes, that is true.
Could be the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. Is that what they were called?
Yes. Much better than the Dog Doo-Doo Band, which is less successful.
Certainly gone unnoticed so far, that dog, so we will keep across that. As
I think they should bring ear defenders for that dog. I think dogs do have quite acute hearing, and it's not necessarily enjoying the band as much as the humans around here are. So, as we say farewell temporarily to Craig, who's going to get out and about and bring you coverage from around the site. I'll just be flying solo until that moment. Got a bit of a twangy guitar solo going on here behind us. Not necessarily behind us, just to our left. And the end of that number comes to a drumming end. rather extended drawings to the end. There we are, final chords, 1, 2, 3, sustain pedal on. And they're all straight into the next number. That's nice. The bass player was all lined up to get the next number underway. So Craig is off, out and about, see what he can find. Our perspective here, though, absolutely marvellous. He is a little bit restricted. And the member of the Birmingham Phoenix cricket team walks up. He's number 17. He walks up between the two fields. It's a little teasing number, this one. It's taken a while for the lyric to come in. A truck's wheeled down that looks like it's got a lot of possibly glasses in it for the Black Swan drinks bar here. Birmingham Phoenix guy gets back to his tree. Oh, and here we are, the trolley comes right down below us here. They're kept busy, these event staff. They've not stopped since we've been here. The survivalist Lederhosen guy checks his camera. He's got an actual camera, not a camera phone. He's got pheasant feathers in his hat. Ooh, a bubble machine's going. Yeah, that's tremendous. You know you've arrived at a festival when the bubble machine gets cranked up. I think that is the festival's bubble machine, I think. I don't think that's been brought by the band as a special feature, although I wouldn't put it past them. They seem to be big on their showmanship. There's a little bit of almost air guitar work going here as a member of the audience claps away to burst bubbles falling down from that machine. There's a cameraman films the act with a shoulder-mounted camera. Some people dancing along. I imagine this would work very well in a back room of a pub, this music. The intimate setting would suit it very well, I think. Oh, there's a call out and a squeal response from the stage. The man in the orange t-shirt punches the air briefly with his left hand. Photographers start gathering. The band is toasted. I think someone on stage might be drinking and encouraging the audience to drink along with them. Oh, another tote bag here brings the totalizer up to 4. The sound mixer guy's got his tablet computer in his left hand and is texting with his right on a different device. And 2 women get back to their picnic blanket with anonymous white containers, which I think contain cocktails. A man in an AC Milan t-shirt reclines with a pint of beer, cheers with his mate, and takes a sip. Another man gets back to his mate with a pint. I think that's father and son combo there. They'd started on the Guinness, but have moved on to lager now. Not sure if that counts as mixing your drinks. So Craig is out. Are you also about, Craig?
I am about, and I can
confirmed that the bubble machine is on. Yesterday, wasn't quite sure whether they'd remember to pack it, but the bubble machine is giving it out some for Orange River Remedy. And just to confirm the lineup, James, because we can't actually see from our commentary position, the Pirates, it's two gentlemen who we thought were pirates, and on drums is the lady in the what we think is a felt fedora hat. So it's a three-piece, but they're making the sound of at least a four-piece, I would say.
Yes, yep, it's sounding great from up here.
And Orange River Remedy will be pleased that quite a few people have come coincidentally dressed in orange today.
A little child with orange hair runs past.
So I'm just heading up the... actually, I'm not actually. I should actually walk on the specially laid temporary walkway. And it's quite soft underfoot, actually. It's not metal. I think it is plastic. So it's actually got a little bit of give to it as you walk along it. Not uncomfortable at all. And just passing the merchandise stall where there's a range of things on offer. So you can buy, we've seen a floral headdress, and you can buy those here. You can buy Janice Long pin badges. You can buy some glitter to do your own face painting. So I don't know whether, I'm going to check whether there is a face painting store or whether people are just doing it themselves with the buy your own glitter. It's I Am Yogi merchandise. There are some Orange River Remedy t-shirts, James. Extra large, large and medium in the t-shirts, and hoodies as well. So no small t-shirts. So obviously the Orange River Remedy fan base of a particular stature.
I'm amazed to be able to announce that the mural artist's packing up.
Before he started...
No.
Oh, yeah, the other, yes.
Mural.
Yes,
Mural,
so
not graffiti, yes.
Yes, the graffiti artist is now back, and he's made very rapid progress there on the on his work. So he's got the grid painted, and I think, without giving too much away, I think that's going to be C6 Steve.
It would be difficult to give more away, Craig.
Yes, that's true. I have given that away quite substantially there.
Although we don't know what pose C6 Steve
well, he's
will
kind
be
of looking up a little bit, and he's wearing a baseball cap, I think.
So yeah, no mystery there. But yeah, please do still come down to see C6 Steve, and more importantly, to hear him this evening. I'm not sure if we're sold out, whether there's still tickets, but sure you'll be made very, very welcome if there are tickets and you buy them.
So I'm by Sparkle Magic Glitter Hut here, where you can indeed have your face glittered up professionally. I think it is a profession. Glitter painting faces with glitter is a profession, I think. And there's also, this is big news, and I don't know if you're going to have time, if you're at home now, if you live 20 minutes away, you can get down for the macrame workshop, which is going to be led by representatives from Mosley Park. So that's a macrame workshop from 2 o'clock till 4 o'clock. I don't know whether you need to be there at the start or not, whether macrame takes 2 hours, or whether you'll be able to drop in at 3 and at least get the gist of it. But anyway, if you can't make it today, they're doing the same thing tomorrow, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I don't actually know what macrame is. That might be one for Maureen.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of knotting of string.
There's definitely string here, and that explains why earlier we saw the coat rails being brought in. So they are draping the strings over the costume rail, ready for that macrame workshop.
I'd be interested to see if the knitter and the embroiderer attend the macrame workshop as fans of craft, or whether they specialise in their respective fields of knitting and embroidery and steer clear of the macrame. Oh, and in footwear, as drinking wear holder front, there are some action sandals, a pair of action sandals, one of which is keeping vertical a pint glass half full of beer, and the other is holding a compostable hot drinks container. And the woman just lifts out said hot drink to her partner. There's another hot drink that was being left out of this holding procedure because the woman only has 2 action sandals, not 3, but she's not taken the opportunity to put that one into the action sandal, possibly because the cup is empty, or possibly because she's not spotted the opportunity, or possibly she's just being reckless.
So I'm at the top of the hill where the seats are, and there's a very, very impressive looking picnic going on here. We've got homemade salad, we've got shop-bought olives. That's where you have to buy olives in a shop, really, and can't unless you got a very well kitted out greenhouse to grow your own olives. Strawberries, grapes, we've got homemade cookies, I think, a whole box of samosas, a whole biscuit tin size Tupperware container of sausage rolls. We've got coleslaw, we've got quiche, we've got cocktail sausages, we've got maybe mini Scotch eggs. Is that a mini Scotch egg? Mini Scotch eggs. I'd love a samosa, thank you very much. This is unprecedented scenes here. We're going to be live samosa eating, brought to you from Mosley Folk Festival by our very generous. Someone's already, looks like someone might have had a nibble out of that one, but someone's had a bite out of that one, I think. They're just trying to palm me off here with half-eaten samosa. So what I thought this actually turned out to be, thank you very much, very kind of you, thank you. Always work at the best picnic in the park, because you never know what you're going to get. They're set for the day here, James. How are things looking down there?
I've got exciting news, Craig. There's a gentleman here with a very elaborate top knot and knotted, plaited pigtail, I suppose, which goes down to between his shoulder blades. He's wearing a blue t-shirt, and on the front of the t-shirt there are pictures of a range of knots. So I'm wondering if in a little bit, 20 minutes or so, we might see him at the macrame workshop. Possibly even leading said workshop. A fan of the knot.
Very nice samosa. I've been given there by a very kind family. To be honest, they had a lot of food to spare, so I don't think they're going to miss it too much. It's very nice. A little bit of a kick to it. It's very tasty indeed. As the family arrive now in very glittery outfits on. There's a girl with a very glittery shawl, and might be her mum there, I think, with a sequined. I think that's a bolero jacket. I don't think we're going to venture into the world of different types of jackets quite yet.
The man with the green leather jacket, drinking the Guinness that matches his trousers, is appreciative of the Orange River Remedy, and at the end of that number applauded by tapping the side of his glass with his right hand. I'm not sure that would have made any noise at all, but it's possible he's got a ring on one of those fingers, and there's a chinking sound that might have audibly added to the applause. Otherwise, it was a purely visual gesture that I hope the band were able to acknowledge.
We've got the Financial Times and the Guardian at the top of the field here. This is the literary corner, I think. They're less keen on Orange River Remedy, but they are reading the right colour newspaper. The Financial Times there. So security guard on the front gate. He was here all day yesterday, and he is back again today, and he hasn't stopped smiling. See if he can hold that up for the rest of the day. Someone's saying I can't go in that way. No, there's definitely a one-way system here, so you have to go out to the toilets to the left, and then you have to wend your way back round to have your wristband checked. There's a gentleman just passing by there with a very sparkly beard. He's had some glitter put into his beard there. He's looking very good, and the security guard gives you a wink and a smile.
This is often the area at which we start to lose Craig, but who knows, technology moves on a pace, and we might have greater range this year.
So can you hear me, James?
Certainly loud and clear, Craig.
Excellent. So I'm just up by the entrance. It's not the main entrance. This is the second entrance where you have your wristband checked, and the tennis court area, which has now been turned into a bar area. It's quite quiet up here at the moment. There's a beer bar. There's also wine and a fizz bar and cocktails and shots. So things moved on quite a lot. Mosley Folk. This used to be balloon modelling up here, but it's mainly cocktail drinking this year. So the times they are changing.
Indeed, they are.
So yes, no balloon modelling as yet, although could happen tomorrow, or it could have been driven underground this year. So I might have to keep my eyes peeled to see if I can see any secret balloon modelling going on.
The most
unofficial.
Oh no, there's been a crash here, Craig. Oh no, someone's tripped. A youngster has tripped on the walkway, the path maybe, on the little lip created by the intersection of the two sections there. He's unhappy, but a bit of TLC. His mum holding a hand, him trying to hold his older brother's other hand. He seems to have cheered up. That's right, we're back in action. Sorry about that, Craig. Underground balloon modelling, it might be worth trying out the ice house.
Yes, indeed. I am just there now, actually, so I will be able to have a look whether balloon modelling has been driven underground. And as far as I can see, no, it's just it is still just an ice house. But two people are just going into the ice house now, so we'll see whether they come out with a dog or a cutlass. They don't look like the balloon modelling types to me, so yep, disappointment there on the balloon modelling front. Got two people showing off here with their Intermarché reusable bags. Most people content with Sainsbury's or Tesco, but he's just showing off the fact that they've spent the summer in France.
Just occurs to me, Craig, it's possible to model a balloon underground, but if you're then trying to take that balloon out with you, they're quite difficult things to smuggle, I think.
Yes, that's true. Yes, you would you have to put them under your jumper, or you can't even pretend that it's a real dog, can you? Because no dogs are allowed on the site. So yeah, maybe that is the end of balloon modelling. We just got bubbles instead this year. I'm up at the area reserved for wheelchair users. Some quite sophisticated wheelchairs up here, electronic and all-terrain ones, I think. And just now by the massage area that we saw earlier, James, that you spotted with your binoculars. So I suspect that if I was to commentate on people being massaged, that might not be very relaxing for them. So I'm just going to stand a little discreet distance away so that I don't ruin the moment for them. So a lady is having her back manipulated there. A gentleman is discussing his aches and pains, while another lady is having an elbow driven into her shoulder. The masseur is managing to nod her head to the rhythm of the music, and she's actually now doing a little bit of rubbing to the rhythm of the music as well.
It's a rare drum solo at the Mosley Folk Festival.
Yeah, she is going for it, and that's caused the masseur to be a little bit more vigorous as well. So I think it's a masseur, isn't it, is the person who does the massaging. I'm not quite sure what the recipient of the massage is called, whether that's called a massagee. So one of the massagees is having a fairly traditional massage, thumbs in the back of the neck one.
Might need to ask Maureen about masseur, masseuse.
Masseur, masseuse, massagee. Yep. Maureen will know.
If she doesn't know, she'll know someone who knows. And if that person doesn't know, that person will know someone who knows.
So it's the gentleman who we suspected was a member of the Birmingham Phoenix team is actually a member of the Dutch national football team instead. So not a cricketer. He's actually watching some football as well as we speak. So he's a big football fan. I can't quite tell who is he watching there. It's Everton. Oh, it's Everton Liverpool, of course, which we would have been commentating on normally, but we have our previous commitment to be here at Mosley Folk Festival instead. But it's 0-0, Everton Liverpool, and it's near the end of the just lost me. Near the end of the second half, so we're 62 minutes in, still 0-0. Oh, there's a shot from outside the box there from Liverpool. I'm going
to have to cut across you, Craig, there. I think we are suddenly about to breach our broadcasting licence there. I think we're allowed to talk about the game, but maybe not commentate upon the game.
So, two teams, one in blue and one in red, kicking the ball about, and one of them just saved one. So yes, anyway, you can tune into that, but don't tune into that. Stay tuned to the commentators instead.
Yeah, sorry, Craig, I didn't want to give the lawyers any more work to do on our behalf. I've got answer, very quick answer, Maureen right on it. I think this is first-hand knowledge of hers that masseur is male and masseuse is female.
Maureen hasn't been able to discover what the name of the recipient of a massage is yet, though.
Not yet, no.
No. So the Somerville family are relaxing on the side of the path, just on the catering field. So Florence has done her bit, so she's just relaxing now, enjoying the sounds of and just carefully waits his way up with the 2 pint glasses.
A mother and son sit down on a bench and look around them askance that the bench is available. I'm just a bit worried that they might not be allowed to sit there because no one is sitting there. But nope, they are in a good position. Now I think there are 2 kilt-stroke leather skirts on site today. 2 gentlemen who look quite similar, but not identical. They're different people, but very similar, very unconventional outfits. Only at Mosley Folk, I suggest.
There's another piece of artwork which we can't see from our commentary position, just to the side of the main stage here. A painting of, I think, possibly the natural world, possibly slightly fantasy. Well, it's still taking shape at the moment, so we will keep an eye on that over the weekend. It's got some trees, flowers, possibly a fairy type figure in there, so that's going to be taking shape over the next few days, so we'll keep all across that. Two gentlemen here just having a little relax by the lake, and the lake is looking very nice down here. There's a common gull, I think that is, just floating on the surface of the lake near the island there. Not too much bird life down here at the moment. The seagull just flies off southwesterly direction over one of the pumps. And there's a little, I think that's a baby moorhen there, separated from the rest of the family, or maybe grown up enough now to be sent off to make its own way on the lake. It's pecking away at the surface of the water there, getting a few little morsels of food. The leaves beginning to turn here slightly now as we approach autumn.
The crowd is swelled by residents of Ashbrook Road. I'm not sure if they're going to join the twisting that's going on out front this summer. They are lots of people twisting away there to this this number.
Yes, got a couple dancing on the little bit of green area in front of the catering field there. Nearly backed into a group of people walking down. I think they're old hands at this, I think. Not quite dressed for the occasion. She's got quite big boots on, but still giving it a good go there. And crowd now, big crowd in front of the stage, James, there for Orange River Remedy. Must be coming up to pretty much their last number now.
The Banshees science fiction fan is back on it. He's stood up reading now, apparently oblivious to the band rocking out in front of him. He does that thing of checking back to the back of the book to see how many pages he's got to go. Now he's watching the band. So Craig, queues at the bar?
No, it's fairly quiet at the moment. So if you are feeling a little bit parched, now is quite a good time to get to the bar. There's a lot of staff on duty as well, so you're not having to wait too long. There's security staff here as well to make sure that you don't drink too much. As a lady returns from the bar empty-handed, possibly decided she'd prefer a cocktail from the tennis court area. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people serving behind the bar at the moment. So very quick turnarounds. Of course, if it's not quite quick enough, you can go to the grab and go store next to the merchandise tent, where you can get if you can't be bothered to wait the 20 seconds it takes to pour a pint, you can just get a can instead.
Yeah, I think by the time you'd walked up to the grab and go and then back to your place in the field, you probably would have been better off just staying there.
Just better off just getting it here, I think. Yeah, the man struggles with a pushchair up the bank there past the lake, throws up some dust. He's wearing thongs as well, flip-flops, but he's not in Orange River Remedy. Just making my way down the path towards the other part of the festival site, the folk on the slope, but may lose reception here, James, but I'll get as far as I can. Passing a little jetty onto the lake and the back of the Mosley Park Angling Club, which is shielded from view at the moment, but I can just peek through there. This looks like the heart of the operations in here, possibly for the bar area. I can see some boxes of Purity there, which I think is probably some other cans. There's a laptop in there. There's some credit card machines, so quite a very good view there, because it is quite a little secret area that even a AAA wristband can't get you in. So I'm heading up the steps that lead to Folk on the Slope. Decorated with pots of flowers, some clematis there. Not clematis, I beg your pardon. That's a climbing plant. These are cyclamen. Cyclamen, said bright pink cyclamen. And there's a band on there at the moment. I think we might have just missed them. It's a lady in a very colourful dress and headdress. Multicoloured hair, makes her way down the steps. You will probably spot her coming your way fairly soon, James.
Craig, I think Ellie Gowers has just finished on your stage there.
I think they might be giving another number, actually. So yes, I think that was, strictly speaking, their last song. But the compere has asked if people want another one, and I think enough people said yes to mean that Ellie is going to play another song. Some people have already started to leave, though. I think they're making their way over to the main stage to see what act is coming on there next.
Well, there's a 55-minute buffer between Ellie and Brothers Gillespie, so she's got plenty of leeway there. She does want to do numerous encores. Meanwhile, on the main stage, Martin Carthy.
Ah, yes, that's what's drawing the crowd. So Martin Carthy will be getting people coming up. People are sprinting, in fact, to get to Martin Carthy. They need to be a little bit careful because it's quite a particular demographic, Martin Carthy crowd, particular age. So they do need to be a little bit careful coming down these steps.
Yeah, Martin's not in a massive rush to start, doing a tiny bit more tuning. And there's a few hazards here, people walking past, a few knotty tree roots, but they've successfully negotiated those. Sometimes they paint those white, and here comes another tricorn hat. That's the second tricorn hat of the day that we've seen, as people make their way down the steps towards Martin Carthy. That's 6 corns in total, of course.
The gentleman there just makes his way safely over that tree roots. Lady there just decides she's stepping on them, and most people successfully negotiating it. And here's the second tricorn hat. So I think they might be a pirate family, which is why they're both wearing the tricorn hat. Some people decided to come to Folk on the Slope. The people who are not so keen on Martin Carthy coming this way. And Martin Carthy fans going the other way.
He started singing now. He must know a lot of songs, Martin Carthy. I wonder how he chooses which ones to sing. I just suppose, how does anyone choose what songs to sing?
Yes, he has been going for a long, long time. So he must have a head full of songs. Partly depends which ones he can remember, I guess, which ones he decides to play.
I think that's a good thing about being a solo act. You don't have to get all your band agreed on what you're going to play and check you've all rehearsed the same thing. Switching a set list around is entirely in your own hands.
Yes, and if you're under-rehearsed, you've only got yourself to blame.
A notable local playwright is just making his way down to inspect Martin Carthy more closely.
Mallard just floats across the lake. Good to know that the waste from the portable toilets was taken off-site and not just dumped surreptitiously into the pool last night. So I have got photographic evidence that it was pumped away to be dumped in someone else's lake.
Yeah, I think DNA analysis could possibly trace pollutants back to their origins, but seems unlikely. Oh, and a woman here peers into the picnic hamper to see what's she's going to have, and she peels the red rind off Babybel cheese, drops that back into the picnic hamper.
Sorry, James, I think I've found what could genuinely be described as a white picket fence down here, lakeside, and you might just be able to spot it from your commentary position, but fence that is keeping people away from the edge of the pool here, I would say, is a white picket fence.
Excellent. So if we had industrial action, that would be exactly the fence to take along with us.
Yes, this will be the place to stand. It's a little bit worse wear, the picket fence down here, so there's some hazard tape as well. But it seems to be people seem to be steering clear, and there are a couple of stewards here as well to make sure no one goes careering into the lake. And there's a danger of Weil's disease. Of course, Kurt Weil was playing yesterday, so I don't think he is responsible for the disease in this lake.
The outgoing director of notable local art gallery goes to stand just a little bit in front of notable national playwright. Yeah, both of them with their respective partners, playwright and I think curator together, so that's a little hotbed of local artistic culture there. A couple of square metres. Let's hope no meteorite lands just there, or we'd be in all sorts of trouble.
One of those red plastic bags coming past me, yes, and that is a record bag, so he's been to the merchandise store, got a vinyl album there, so just translucent enough for me to see that it was an album, but I couldn't quite see what it was. Might have been C6 Steve. There's a little bit of a bottleneck here now at the entrance to Folk on the Slope, as those fleeing Martin Carthy have to make their way past those racing towards him.
Craig, I wonder if there's any merit in you attempting to do any commentary on the woodworking at the top of that field.
I think I have attempted that in the past, and it's been a little bit out of range. So I can feel like I'm on the cusp of being out of range here. But I will try. I think that's a Trilby hat goes past, and a baseball cap, and no hats at all on these people. So it's a big. Obviously, the act has finished now on the kitchen garden stage at Folk on the Slope, and people making their way now towards Martin Carthy. Simon Armitage just going past there. He, of course, in his band yesterday, and he'll be reciting some poetry.
Now, quite unbelievably, the family that sat down at the bottom of the stage with all the different bags and the two young kids then moved it all, plus food, to the top of the field to eat the food, have finished eating their food, and now they've moved all the way back down to the bottom of the field and are in the process of unpacking and setting up again. They're spending a very large portion of their day encamping and decamping.
So I don't know if you can still hear me, James.
Yes, we can, Craig. You're starting to feel slightly like you're breaking up, but we can still hear you.
Yes, I don't think I'm going to make it quite to the very top of the field where the woodworking is, but I think with my years of experience I can speculate as to what is going on up there. So, interestingly, we talked earlier about balloon modelling and its absence this year. Well, we don't have balloon modelling, but we do have giant bubbles, and we do have, I think, wooden spoon making, and we've also got some traditional Victorian pastimes here. Of course, they didn't have balloons in the Victorian time, as far as I know. Maureen might be able to correct me on that. So, but
I think you do. I think they're just made out of pig's bladders.
yes, quite hard to inflate. I think it took quite a lot of puff to inflate a Victorian balloon. But man with the yellow hat is here, and it's got some breaking news on the hat front. As we said, we were unlikely to see a bowler hat today, but listeners at home will be delighted to know that there is a bowler hat here worn by a member of the team from the Black Country Living Museum. So that is excellent news there, James.
That is, and maybe we hadn't factored that in at all when we're speculating about hats.
I don't want to. I know that is news, excellent news in itself, remarkable news in itself, but to top that, James.
No.
Yes.
No. A top?
No, not the top. Nope. We do have a genuine straw boater.
Oh.
A straw boater, not a top hat. I'm sorry. No,
boater's even better.
I hyped that a little bit too much.
No.
So we've got a bowler hat and a straw boater stood next to each other, large as life, and bold as brass here on Folk on the Slope 2022. So remarkable scenes here, James.
Remarkable. Scale 1 to 1. That's exactly what we're after. I might have to try and get over there after our commentary shift is over to check. Oh, now to supplement the 1967 T-shirt, there's someone in a 1969 T-shirt, and we don't have to speculate about what happened in 1969 because it is within the numbering. It's got the 4 members of the Beatles walking across the zebra crossing on Abbey Road. One of the things that happened in 1969, presumably, was the recording of that album. So we're making progress on the year T-shirt collection. We've got 2 out of the 2022 common era or current era T-shirts available. So only 2020 to go.
So here on Folk on the Slope, we've got people relaxing. There's a little canopy above the stage. Most people choosing to sit outside on the grass while the band isn't on. There's even a little bar up here, very cleverly built on... you'd think you wouldn't be able to have a bar on a slope because the beer would be at an angle as in your glass, but they have got an elaborate setup here where they've managed to create a level bar platform. So you can even get a beer, a flat beer on the slope, not in terms of amount of carbon dioxide in it, flat as in level, a level beer on the slope, Folk on the Slope. And at the top of the field are, there's giant bubbles. There is woodworkings with people using pole lathes, I think they are, where you use your foot to power the machinery to carve and shape wood. There's someone there with a very long piece of rope. I think there's a tug of war going on here, James. So
who are the competitors?
It's one-on-one tug of war. So we've got a lady versus a very small child. So it's slightly one-sided, but then some other people jumped in to help the toddler, and so the lady lost that one.
So balloon news. I think Maureen's going to have a little lie down soon because she has been excelling herself recently. They did have rubber balloons in Victorian times. Michael Faraday, 1824. I think that's Victorian era. Certainly, yeah, definitely. You'd had rubber balloons and pig bladder. You can enjoy a pig bladder balloon right back to the Aztecs, apparently.
Yes, I think the Mayans as well did. They invented the rubber ball as well, the Mayans. So I think maybe, I don't know if they had balloons though, but certainly had bouncy rubber balls, I think, the Mayans.
So yes, quite possible that Michael Faraday was balloon modelling in, well, maybe not 1824, probably had a bit of time to develop the balloon, maybe 1825-6 he was getting on to that kind of action. and there are references to whale bladder balloons, which must be enormous, in Swiss Family Robinson, and of course Moby Dick. Moby Dick's such a long book that it must reference most things.
I think the tailored dungarees that we saw go backstage earlier might have been playing on stage a moment ago, because she's now backstage, and so we missed those dungarees playing, so apologies for that. There's some musicians making their way out of gate at the rear of here, so obviously that's a way in for possibly a way in for musicians only.
The yellow sartorial yellow man, who we noticed on the bench early on, is over your way, I think, Craig. If you are still that way towards the bar, he's stood possibly with an orange rucksack on, with a very oblique angle on Martin Carthy.
So James, I'm just unprecedented scenes here. I'm going to bring you live commentary of me taking a photo of a couple at Mosley Folk. So I'm trying to hold the microphone and the camera at the same time. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, Folk Festival. And there, I press the button and photograph taken. So live photography there, brought to you on by Mosley Folk Festival commentary team.
Well, words paint 1,000 pictures, so heaven knows how many pictures we've painted already today.
I just took one photo there. I probably should have taken more, actually, in case that one didn't come out.
But each photo contains more than 1,000 pixels, so you're probably all right.
One of those pixels will be okay, won't it? Yeah, so hopefully they won't be too disappointed. Another pair of wellies here, wellies and shorts.
Another male skirt kilt, I wouldn't say combo, but item on the field now. This is not leather and is khaki, camouflage, I should say, on a little pallet just there in front of the green bench. The
band just leaving the stage there, so double bass carried like a rucksack on the back there. Huge instrument. So I wonder how he gets that around. Wonder whether what an Uber driver would like would look like if you arrived with a double bass. Whether you lose your 5-star rating pretty quickly if you're trying to cram that into the back of an Uber.
Yes, can you request a car with a roof rack on Uber?
Yes, if you, I don't know, would you want to put your double bass on a roof rack? I'm not sure. I suppose if they got a sunroof, you might be able to poke it out the top of a sunroof, but not many cars come with a sunroof anymore, do they? It's a bit of a...
That is true. That is true, actually.
I don't know when I last saw a car with a sunroof. I don't know whether Maureen might be able to do a little bit of research on the rise and fall of the sunroof.
Need a convertible.
Yes, if you had a convertible. I don't know if there are many convertible Ubers. Is that an Uber XXL convertible?
Yes. I'm not an Uber expert or even a customer, so not in my wheelhouse, as mentioned. Oh, the sartorial yellow man has he's added a snood to his outfit, and that's not really yellow. Well, not at all yellow. It's more of a green, light green. He's made a full circuit of the field to return to roughly where he was before. He's looking quite miserable, I must say. Might be at the wrong event. Or he pulls out a phone. It might be he's trying to meet someone and he can't find them. Oh no, his phone was to take a photograph. Martin Carthy's going to be absolutely tiny in that photo, mate. You need to get much, much, much closer if you're going to be able to recognise him.
Another novel being read here. I can't quite see what it is, and I might go out of range briefly while I try and have a look and discover the title of that novel. So forgive me for a second.
There's a moment of suspense in the commentary. A man in a Frank Zappa t-shirt quaffs something from a green water bottle. And a man in front of him who appears... sorry, Craig.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry. Yeah. So the novel is called "You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty." So I don't know if anyone has read that.
Oh, I wonder what genre that is.
I know it's got a pink cover. That doesn't really give very much away. It could be magic realism, or it could be health and beauty tips, possibly. Could be a manual for undertakers or embalmers, maybe. Yeah, speculating, of course.
A bald man in pink t-shirts, wild waving, is rewarded with his friends coming up the field to greet him. And he tries to do a friend's kiss with the woman, and they both decide to go, I suppose, in opposite directions, which resulted in them being in the same direction because they were facing each other, and very nearly kissed each other in the lips, but managed to avoid that, and decorum was very swiftly reintroduced.
So can you hear me, James?
Oh yes, yes. I'm getting a bit of a whiff of the old aerosol there, Craig.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If I drop off, then
yes.
You have to carry on without me.
That's why I chose to go on Walkabout now when I sensed the cans were coming out. That was a good time to get a little bit of fresh air. So we got a member of the Black Country Living Museum dressed up in Victorian costume, but she's handing out a survey, but on a plastic clipboard, which is a bit of a shame, I think. Rather than having a wooden clipboard or a clipboard made out of I don't know, bone or something like that. But, so slightly let the reenactment side down there.
I suspect the Mayans probably invented the clipboard as well, didn't they?
Sorry, James, I missed that.
I think I was just speculating that the Mayans might have invented the clipboard as well.
Yes, I don't know if they had much cause to have a clipboard, but they did have a ball game that they played, so possibly they would need a clipboard to keep score.
Although, wasn't that famously a ball game where virtually no one ever scored?
Yes, I think you could possibly die during it as well, so maybe you didn't really need to keep score, you just needed to be alive at the end of it to know whether you'd won or not. I don't know if they had commentary of that Mayan ball game. I don't know when commentary first came in to sports.
I think, Craig, as long as there's been sport, there's been commentary.
Indeed. It's like all music is folk music, all life is commentary or commentatable upon, I think.
Yes, you can commentate on yourself, though I wouldn't recommend it.
So it's a very calm atmosphere here on Folk on the Slope. A few picnics being eaten, ice cream being consumed, beer being poured, conversations being had.
Now, Craig, you've got the answer to one of those questions which you never thought you would get an answer to. We were speculating about the purpleness of the chief litter wrangler's beard.
It's gone blue.
Totally blue, bright blue, and I think a colour specifically chosen to match the Mikhail Gorbachev Memorial T-shirt that he's wearing.
Yes. So, had he been a fan of Orange River Remedy, of course, he might have gone. He might have gone orange, or a fan of one of the life buoys that are around the perimeter of the lake here, which are also, of course, bright orange.
Or a customer of Easy Beard Colour, the low-cost beard colouring option. So
your family walking past now, the children with the ear defenders on, so they obviously not big fans of Martin Carthy. They could probably take them off here though, because they can only just hear in here really, so I don't think it would cause too much upset. Dad just points to the bar, says, shall we have one? His wife goes up and asks a question. So I think she's asking about the plastic glass system, where you have to pay a deposit on a plastic glass. I don't think you ever get the deposit back, so it's not really a deposit, because they don't really take the glasses back, so it's just a surcharge, possibly would be a better way of describing it. The bar here has been decorated with plastic flowers since we were here yesterday doing our preliminary research. A little bit of warming up going on behind for the next band. Got a mandolin and guitar, two vocalists, singers. Well, they're singing and playing at the same time, so that's not really multi-instrumentalists, that's just singer-songwriters. Someone's getting into a boat, so two of the, I think they're the sound crew, getting into the boat. Don't know whether they can't bear to listen to what their colleagues have done, but they're about to row out. Hope they come back safely, otherwise it could be quite tricky for the rest of the festival. One's trying to, they haven't quite got the hang of two oars at the same time now. The one without the oars is suggesting they just use one, like in Hawaii 5-0. Now they've both got one each, and they're trying to turn round and face the same direction. And now here they go. This is like they're rowing down the Orinoco River now. It's like Heart of Darkness. It's like Apocalypse now as they go under the branches of one of the trees along the pool here, just re-emerging on the other side. Expecting them to meet Marlon Brando at some point at the end of the journey. The horror.
I've lost Craig there. There's a psychedelic adult madness.
3 mallards across the lake. A fish jumps. Water bubbles up from the surface of the pool. The photographer eats a sandwich. Someone opens a bottle of fizzy pop. A lady in pink trousers steps towards the lake. A pigeon rests on top of an oak tree, disturbing another pigeon. Flies off into the sky. Pink shorts and a safari hat. That's a safari hat. Has just cast. We haven't had that before, I don't think. I think that's a safari hat. A sort of floppy brimmed hat. The sound crew disappeared off into the distance, into the darker regions of the lake here beyond my sight. We just have to hope that they return safely to finish off the rest of the festival.
A voyage of discovery, no doubt. Who knows what they might return with. Meanwhile, bubbles still bubbling out here. The graffiti artist has replaced the Red Bull energy drink with just a half pint of Coca-Cola. The new family has arrived in front of us and very quickly have pulled out a very large bag of popcorn.
Oh, breaking news there. Safely back, James. Good news. The sound crew have made it back. They've still got all their clothes on and they haven't had their faces painted, so I think we're going to be safe to continue the rest of the festival.
Excellent. 20 minutes left on Martin Carthy's set, so they've got plenty of time.
Just got the tricky manoeuvre, of course, of docking.
Sorry, I missed it, Craig. Are they rowing?
Yes, they row. Well, they're using paddles to propel the boat along the surface of the water, so not rowing in the sense of the Oxford and Cambridge boat race, but yes, using paddles to manoeuvre. That's rowing, isn't it?
Yes, I think.
Or is it paddling?
It could be paddling. It depends what a purist you are, but as long as they're getting around, they're not racing, I think it's fine, isn't it?
No,
be relaxed. We could be relaxed about all this.
Very genteel. I think they knew what they didn't know what they were doing, but they knew that they weren't putting themselves in immediate danger.
Now, I have literally extraordinary news, Craig. Sartorial Yellow Man set himself up directly below the commentary position here, and in perfect theme, he is eating the seeds directly out of the head of an enormous sunflower.
Nice. He's got it all very, very coordinated. So we might see him later eat some sweet corn, possibly.
Absolutely. Mind you, he's got a long way to go on this sunflower head, so the sweet corn could be a way off.
So he's actually eating a sunflower.
Literally, he's got the head of a sunflower in his left hand, and with his right hand he's picking out a little seed, and then there's a husk that he's putting into a empty Doritos bag, which is leaning up against his left thigh.
Sound crew safely out of the boat, and it's being moored by the port staff. Security guard on the gate of the backstage area doesn't have too much to do, I don't think, and that's probably one of the easier gigs of the festival, but also one of the most important as well. So he's just letting in one of the sound crew from Folk on the Slope here. He's going to have to. He must be happy with the sound check here. He's just gone back possibly to get some refreshment, just having a chat with the rowers.
A member of our technical team walks backstage with an enormous circular something. A sign. Big, enormous circular sign. Don't know what it says on the other side of the sign. No doubt we'll find out when our shift is over. A man with a swift or a swallow tattooed on his left hand. Moves backstage. He prepares his wristband. Now, Craig, I don't know how they select the which volunteers work where, but they've made a fantastic selection of the guy who's in charge of checking wristbands going to this Black Swan bar, because he's possibly the smiliest person I've ever seen in my life, and so when he tells people they haven't got authority to go backstage here, he completely disarms everyone with his enormous smile as he delivers the news. So I think that's a tremendous bit of selection by the management team here.
First glass of wine has seen all festival, just makes its way towards Folk on the Slope. I think that must have come from the tennis court area, so you can get
still or fizzy wine?
It was still, I think. It was white wine, but yes, not. It wasn't from the fizz bar. It was from the flat bar, I think. Possibly a Pinot Grigio.
So one of our skirted, kilted men walks back down the field, having filled his pewter tankard to the brim. He's barefooted, but there's no sign of where his shoes are. They might be in that little bag that was over his right shoulder. They might be somewhere else in the field. I would say holding up a drink, but he's got his pewter tankard in his hand, and pewter tankards don't need to sit in footwear, famously, and he wouldn't be using a different drinking receptacle, I don't think, anyway, because he's a committed pewter man, no doubt.
Yes, seen a few pewter tankards around. Big crowd gathered for Martin Carthy. The mural on the side of the stage is still taking shape, and still looking good in the bar if you're feeling very thirsty. Still not really a queue at all, as a gentleman's got a very handy device here which enables him to carry 4 drinks at one time. I don't know if he's brought that with him himself, whether they give that out at the bar. I think he might have brought that himself, which is excellent forward thinking there. The coffee stall behind us, they're working very hard.
A couple here have totally solved the problem of not being able to bring chairs down to this lower field, and not having one of those little sit on it and it holds you back up chairs. They're simply sitting back to back and leaning against each other. And they're sideways onto the stage, so if he turns to his left and she turns to her right, they can both still see the stage. All the years I've been coming here, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Amazing simplicity, and yet no one would have thought of it before.
Always innovating the folk music crowd, of course. No 2 years the same. Every other year sometimes is the same, but no 2 years ever the same.
Yes, it depends, yeah, what level you look at it, but let's move on. That's quite distracting. Man with very sequined silver trousers worn underneath a very ripped pair of jeans.
So on the catering field now, everyone has brought chairs here, and the coffee and crepes stall is doing a swift trade there. It's quite quiet at the waffle stall. It's a little bit of a queue as someone places their order there, and at the Bonehead stall you can get a burger, or you can get fried chicken. The symbol is a Colonel Sanders head sliced into 3, as if it was a piece of salami. And out comes a waffle with cream and chocolate and possibly fudge sauce on there as well, I think. So no fruit on that. You can have fruit, but she's chosen to go completely for sweet, no fruit option.
Now, Craig, I know you've left the Folk on the Slope field, but just checking down the running order there, next up is Brothers Gillespie, and I noticed that a gentleman in a Screamadelica t-shirt has just entered the field, so I was just wondering what the possibilities are that one of the Brothers Gillespie is Bobby, famously lead singer of Primal Scream, whose album Screamadelica was.
Yes, I did see them do their sound check, and it was a mandolin and acoustic guitar, and quite a long way from the Primal Scream sound. So they might be quite distant brothers of the Primal Scream Gillespie, rather than immediate brothers.
Yeah, so maybe just drawn inadvertently by their name, Mr. Screamadelica there. Yeah, Poet Laureate walks past with, well, I probably shouldn't disclose what he's eating. It's probably indiscreet.
The father that we talked about earlier with the 2 children and the heavy burden of bags is now, he's just got 1 child in the pouch on his front now, so it's much more easygoing for him now. He's just asking a question about milkshakes. Possibly wanted banana flavoured milkshake, which they don't have. Which would be my choice, I think, a banana milkshake, but they don't do that.
What's your second choice?
Probably strawberry, which they do, but it's strawberries and Oreos, so strawberry and biscuit milkshake. Which I'm not sure about that either.
A dark, bitter kind of chocolate with a strawberry.
Do you think?
Controversial?
Milk chocolate shards, strawberries and chocolate sauce. I'm not sure about it really. So I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to milkshakes, really.
Yes, yeah. There's some areas in life where you don't need innovation.
No, sometimes you can make things worse in an attempt to make them better.
I think is it called gilding the lily? Is that?
Yes, I think it is that. Yes, don't know the derivation of that phrase. It might be in Brewer's Dictionary of Phrase and Fable. The dog that we're presuming is an assistance dog is in this field here. Still not quite sure what assistance he is offering. He certainly didn't go to get the food because the other members of the family went to get the food from the stalls.
Maybe eats discarded food.
Yes, maybe just
like a litter dog.
Maybe just clears up afterwards. So because they can't be bothered, they get the dog to do it, and that's the assistance he provides.
Or some dogs. No, I won't go there. Some thoughts are best kept to yourself, James. Oh, now, major news on the sunflower front. He's now only got a quarter of a sunflower head left to eat. I don't know if that's because he's broken some up and put it away, or if while I wasn't looking, he's put some of it in the bin. He's finished off. I can't quite see into the bin from here, but I can see directly down on him. Anyway, he's making relatively short work of what is an enormous sunflower head. So exciting news in the commentary booth here is that the circular sign that we were speculating about turns out to just say Mosley Folk and Arts Festival, and it was for our booth, so it's now set up. So well, if you are watching this on YouTube, you don't need to be told this because you can see it, but if you're listening to us, then you could imagine the commentary booth with a big sign behind me there, and if you're with us on the field, you get the right angle, you could see that as well. Two people collecting for the food bank are down here. They're collecting coins, not actual food, or notes I think they prefer. They've got a bucket to collect this in. They've got green aprons that just say food bank.
So I'm outside the ice cream van, Shepherd's ice cream van, which offers sheep's milk and dairy-free ice cream. I think that would be two separate things, wouldn't it? I think sheep's milk would still count as dairy. I suspect we might have had this debate before in the past as to whether sheep's milk counts as dairy. They've got gluten-free ice cream cones, and they've got vegan peanut butter and chocolate ice cream. They've got toffee and honeycomb, chocolate blackcurrant ripple, mango and passion fruit sorbet, and mint choc chip.
Is it possible to see into the buckets to see which have been eaten most? They keep that commercially sensitive information.
I can't quite see into their what their most popular flavour. I could ask. That does feel like stepping over the boundary of what counts as commentary into interview
or
territory,
investigative journalism, even,
which I'm not quite sure we're licensed to do. I could try and do it discreetly, I suppose.
The mural artist is back. Don't know if she's got a new tin of paint there. She's just trying to use the side of her paintbrush to lever open the lid of that. She might. Oh, that is a deep yellow. Gent below me will be very excited with this yellow going onto the picture there. So she's just adding extra richness to the existing picture rather than starting a new one. C6 Steve, the portrait of, is shaping up very well below us here. A previous experience tells us that a long time after you think the thing's finished, he's still making it better and better and better. There are degrees of making a piece of graffiti art better that this man knows that are beyond the amateur eye.
So, breaking news from the ice cream van is that the most popular seller is toffee and honeycomb, but the vegan peanut butter and chocolate ice cream is also a big seller as well. Well, I don't know if can you call that ice cream if it's vegan? I suppose ice cream style, in an ice cream style. I suppose if anywhere your vegan ice cream is going to be a good seller, it's going to be the Mosley Folk Festival.
Yes, it's cutting edge ice cream here. Oh, a op art picnic blanket is unfold there. Very thin black, grey and white stripes, I think, which, as it riffles over the texture of the soil, makes a, I don't know, like Bridget Riley-esque diffusion pattern there, or a Joy Division album cover tribute. Could send you dizzy just by looking at that. Big response from Martin Carthy, who very politely says thank you. Just a little wave, a little bow, and moves out of my field of vision. So yes, he's kept people very happy there.
So it's quite quiet up here on the catering field. I suppose we're in that in-between time. It's not quite lunchtime. It's not quite dinner time. So if you are feeling a little bit peckish, now would be a good time to get up here. Because there's no queues at most of the stalls. Up here with the quite posh people who have paid a little bit extra to hire a open-sided caravan so they can keep away from the rest of the riffraff of the festival crowd. A couple of them are roped off, but two people have sort of snuck their heads under the rope, even though I suspect that they're not actually Turner, that they have just snuck their heads under the rope pretending to be Turner. But I know it is Turner. I think they are allowed. They are allowed in here until they get turfed out.
The faux Victorian clipboard is being written on down in front of us here. The woman who eyed Victorian stands waiting for them to complete whatever it is they want written on that board. Number 22's here. And Birmingham 2022 top. I'm not sure if that counts in our t-shirt tally to add to 1960. So what was it? 1967 and 1969. Oh, a woman trying to throw some stuff into a bin. The tissue drifts off, but she swoops down and grabs that almost before it's hit the ground.
The all the massage chairs are now occupied. It just shows how stressful a folk festival can be, how much tension can build up over the few hours that people have been here now. Luckily, the festival organisers have realised that and have bought on-site massage facilities this year just to massage away those Folk Festival tensions.
No, I'm really pleased that you're in position there, Craig, because Maureen has sent us through some research, and I think you can really help us out. Types of massage. So the massage on display here, being exercised, is it so number 1, Thai massage, bit like yoga.
I don't think there's any Thai massage going on.
Then possibly number 2, shiatsu, pressure points.
Pressure points. There could be some pressure points going on. It's the back of the neck with knuckles. I don't know what that counts as. I think there might be a bit. There might be a bit of Indian head massage going on here, possibly.
It's not
sure.
on my list. I've got number 3, reflexology, hands and feet focused.
No, definitely no bare feet here. I don't think these masseurs are licensed to touch festival feet. I think that'd be a little bit too much to ask.
Number 4, hot stone massage.
No stones. There's some dust here, but no hot stones. We've got someone being grabbed under their armpit. Have you got that?
Deep tissue, does that count as deep tissue? Slow high pressure, number 5.
Yes, I think that's happening. That's happening. Deep tissue on the back of someone's shoulder there. Oh yeah, I think we've got deep tissue.
Excellent.
We've got rubbing down the arms. Have you got that?
Could be number 6, Swedish massage, most common.
Yeah, I mean, they look quite common here, so I think we've got a bit of Swedish going on here. Got a bit of temple rubbing. I don't know, that's some kind of head massage.
Yeah, that's Maureen's list exhausted there, to be honest.
I think we've got Annie Lennox here actually having a head massage. So I don't think whether she's playing later or she's just here as a punter. Got a gentleman with dreadlocks. He's having his arm rubbed. I think me standing here looking at them isn't helping them relax very much, so I might just walk away a little bit.
Yeah, Dungareed, member of Memorial, joins the jeaned member of Memorial. They stand on the field, looking back at the stage where they've recently performed, remembering that.
Someone's got the wrong festival t-shirt on there. She's got the Beardy Folk Festival, but hope she's realised she's not there. So she's looking for whoever's playing the Beardy Folk Festival. Might be some crossover, so she might not be. She might be pleasantly surprised. Always a bit of deep tissue. I think that was deep tissue there. That's a knuckle into the back. I would say, I'm not an expert. I would say that's deep. Oh, we've got the slapping with the kind of heels of the hand going on all over the back. I don't know what that's called.
And are these paid for sessions, or is this a sort of freebie?
I think it might be. I think it might be a freebie. I think it's just kindly supplied by the organisers of the festival to help people relax a little bit.
Amazing, amazing. And purple T-shirts. Can't quite make out what's written on them.
Massage the senses. I think I've mainly seen massaging the bodies at the moment. Haven't seen the senses being massaged.
Which is quite good. So we've got the sounds of the festival. We've got the sights of the.
James, it is paid for. It is paid for. So yeah, they get to pay afterwards. So I don't know whether they tell them the price afterwards, because
it could be performance related.
Yeah, or you might get a bit of. You might suddenly feel quite tense again when you get told what the price is after having been massaged. I'm not quite sure what the price is. Oh, so there's a queue. There was a queue there, so someone in dungarees being massaged. That's our Venn diagram right there. If she was wearing a hat, we would. The I Spy Book of Folk Festivals would be on fire.
So they have that thing where you've got your little sort of padded circle, like a miniature toilet seat, and you put your face through it.
No, they've just got little fold-out camping stools. She did just take some notes there. but I didn't get to see what she wrote down, and probably would be unprofessional of me to ask and of the masseur to have a look. I could accidentally look at what she's written down, but no, I can't. She's too quick. I can't see what it is. Look like numbers to me. So some kind of massage code.
They're possibly covered by the Hippocratic Oath, aren't they? Masseuses and masseurs.
It might be like clippers at the barber when you go in for a number 1 on the back and sides, a number 5 on the top. Maybe the same in massage language. I'll have a number 1 on the back, a number 2 on the shoulder blades, and a number 4 on the temples. I was a little bit anxious about that earlier, James. I didn't like to say anything in case it invited a lawsuit, but hopefully no one's been too injured, and there won't be any cause to get the lawyers in.
No, now that same child is willfully throwing itself on the floor there.
Well, we can be witness to that. What happened there?
Yes, like in football, a dive.
Sounds like a deliberate attempt to get compensation there.
Yeah, the referee will just wave that away. Possibly a yellow card. Offence.
The intrepid rower from the sound team safely returned from his voyage across the lake, and is reunited with his partner there. There goes the bowler hat, James. You might just see bowler hat coming past you now in the pathway between the seated and blanketed area. Polo hat and neckerchief. Still no top hat though, so if you were thinking of coming to the festival for the evening and you did have a top hat, you would pretty much be guaranteed to get a mention on our live stream today.
I guess I could see both of those hats. If Guns N' Roses were playing, you'd probably see a top hat on the stage.
That's true, you would indeed. They are unfortunately not on the lineup, and I don't think C6 Steve is going to deliver a top hat.
And the man from, is it Wizard or Slade or... and David Ford on the Janice Long stage.
So I'm getting closer to the... just keeping my voice down because I don't want to startle them. The 3 girls there. Working at one frame and another frame now. Type butcher's hook over the top of the costume rail. On that is a wooden O-ring. On the girls here, there are, I would say, around 10 strings that are wooden O-ring, and it's rather like, I imagine, rather like plaiting hair here. So the strings are separated, then a knot is placed in them at different places. I think what you could be making here is one of those sort of hanging plant pot holders. So you're kind of creating a lattice or a net. So they've got some knots clustered towards the top of the frame, and now they've moved further down to create another little cluster of knots. So I think, yes, maybe we're making hanging plant pot.
So that is a kind of follow my leader type lesson, Craig?
Sorry, say that again, James.
So is it like a follow my leader workshop?
No, very much left to their own devices here. So which, from a health and safety point of view, could be a bit of a nightmare. But I think they've had an initial lesson, and now they've just been allowed to get on with it a little bit. So we'll see what results. Now we've got. Well, this is someone in dungarees. Corduroy dungarees is the lesson leader. So there's another one in our Venn diagram.
There's possibly some correlation between dungaree wearing and artistic creativity, I think. It's like seems like quite a high crossover between artist participants and dungaree wearing.
Yes, and quite a high dungaree tolerance as well amongst this such a crowd as well. So I think that's where the two things come together. So she's just giving them a little bit of advice here about knotting these together. So grab 4 strings, and you. It happens so quickly, James. It's very hard to quite work out what is happening here. So 4 strings are pulled together, joined together, and a knot is made of those 4 strings to join those together. But it looks quite difficult to do to me. But, meanwhile, next door to Macrame Workshop, we have glitter face painting going on. You can have a Bio Venus, a Bio Neptune, a Bio Disco, Bio Pineapple, Bio Galactic, or a Bio Electric combination of glitter and sequins. Just costs £3, and all funds go to the Mosley Alternative Giving campaign. So 2 gentlemen having their faces glittered at the moment. One having a star shape on his right eye, the area around his right eye, and the other gentleman hasn't quite decided what he's having yet, I don't think. Someone in the background's got a glittery beard. Yes, he's gone for the left temple, and he's gone, I think that's the Bio Venus, that's quite blue. So the applier, the glitter applier, uses their index finger, they dab it into a pot and gently dab it onto the face of the glitter receiver. He's gone for a little bit on the temple and a little bit on the cheekbone as well. Not quite sure what the technical term for a glitter applier is. A glitterati, possibly. There's a few people newly arrived up here, I think, who are trying to work out where to park themselves. Not very much space left. The member of the Birmingham artistic communities just found their friends who managed to get down here a little bit earlier and managed to save them a space. So they just weave their way through this little labyrinth of picnic chairs here, and their friends make way for them to sit down.
Now here we've got one of those intriguing features of the Mosley Folk Festival. We've got obviously the band playing away on the Janice Long stage, whilst a different band is sound checking silently on the main stage. So from my position, it looks like the sound checking band are playing out of sort of sync with themselves, but the sound's actually coming from a different stage. There's a lot of plugging of effects boxes on that main stage now, while the new song is introduced on the Janice Long stage. Dad patiently holds 2 masquerade masks that were made by his children earlier on, some workshop, while the kids jump around under the falling not balloons, bubbles.
Did you know, James, it takes 2.8 pints of water to make 1 pint of beer, but it used to take 8 pints of water to make 1 pint of beer.
I did not know that, no.
You do now.
I do, and I'll try and remember that.
And 60 hectolitres of spent yeast is sent by Purity Brewing to farmers every year to feed their pigs.
Presumably there's no alcohol in said yeast.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it might be quite a flavoursome bacon that has been fed on Purity yeast, possibly. Apologies to vegan listeners here for mentioning bacon. And 30 tonnes of grain is used to feed cows.
They got it all figured out there, Purity.
So a hectolitre. I think we're going to have to get on Maureen on working out what a hectolitre is. I can't quite picture a hectolitre.
Does it give you information on how much water is required to make a pint of water?
I think it's 1-to-1 on water to water, but 2.8 to 1 on beer. But it used to be 8-to-1, so they've cut down on the use of water to make beer.
Excellent. I wonder if that means the beer's stronger. It's quite possible the beer's 4 times stronger than it used to be.